It's
And
something
they're
you'll
trapped
see.
in that. They're trapped as the tide goes out. They got to wait like 9 months, and it's like month 7. He's like, I can't take it. And he's just like staring at his pistol, and they're like, sir, and he like puts it away. It's like, hello. That was a great moment. He can act.
Yeah, he's considering, shooting himself. But we're talking about the film Sand Pebbles. Right now, we are getting ready to start this film. We're going to be
Shut up and
talking
mute.
about a new film that just came out last week with Gregory Hines and Billy Crystal.
Right, just came out last week.
Just came out last week. They resurrected Gregory Hines just to make the film.
Right.
And by the way, talking about this film, I love the fact that he was a dancer, dude.
Yeah.
And he was such a good actor at the same
Comedy
time.
timing like nobody else, and he's a dancer. Yeah.
It was
crazy.
really cool that Gregory Hines came up as a dancer and became such a movie star while his brother was just forgotten. Oddly forgotten. So anyway, welcome to Saturday Afternoon Fun Time.
Deep in an underground secret Pacific Island lair, Pop Culture Minefield presents Saturday Morning Fun Time. This is the Comic Relief Crusader telling you to get your morning cereal ready, because here we go.
So anyway, I talked to Mike this weekend about doing a new recording of that so we can have it at afternoon. But welcome, it's Saturday Afternoon Fun Time, and we're going to be talking about the film Running Scared, starring Gregory Hines and Billy Crystal. And it is a classic buddy cop film. It's one of my favorites. It really is. Unbelievable. Peter Hyams, God, that guy annoys me so much as a director. And yet he pulled that one off, dude. He really did. He pulled that movie off.
Why does he annoy you?
Because the guy doesn't understand science. He doesn't understand basic biology. And he did the film Outland, which frustrated the hell out of me. I remember I was a kid and my dad took me to go see Outland. And I was bitching about the science in that movie going, it doesn't work that way. Why I'm a kid and I know this. What is wrong with this? And my dad's like, shut up.
I kind of liked Outland. Connery's great. That's the one with Connery, right?
Oh my
He's
God, it's a great film. It's a great film.
High Noon in
You
space,
can't
man.
have a station built on a moon with 1/6 Earth's gravity, and use shotguns.
No.
You
These were
just
special space age shotguns
you
with
got
no
a pop gun in
recoil.
one of those fucking space stations, people are going to fucking die in mass. It just doesn't work that way. Also, you don't explode in space. It's not Arnold Schwarzenegger with in Total Recall. It's not like that. And in that film, it was the heads balloon up and explode inside the spacesuit.
Yeah.
Guys, we have a.
It was a cool
tiny
effect,
little
though.
echo.
Yeah, we have it.
Sure, it's a cool effect, but it's not how it worked. And I knew that when I was a kid. I was watching going, it doesn't happen in a vacuum. It doesn't. That's not what happens to us. What's horrible? It's horrible what happens to us in space. One, we begin to freeze to death. We begin to freeze to death, and our blood begins to boil, freezing, boiling. And on top of that, all the capillaries near the surface, because of the oxygen in the blood, begin to expand and pop. So you get like tons of petechial hemorrhages. And often your eyeballs might swell up and pop on the outside, but only where there's oxygen. If there is no oxygen, if it's just gelatinous, it doesn't do anything. But it's kind of gross. But you don't explode.
Are you saying The Last Jedi is not a science lesson?
Oh, God, nothing on Star Wars is a science lesson.
And by the way, in
that's
Star Trek,
what I
now
always
they
loved
have,
about
sorry.
Star Wars versus Star Trek. Star Wars galaxies have a specific kind of look in Star Wars, which I kind of liked. It's very simplistic, whereas Star Trek uses real science and real space, and so things are supposed to be more realistic. So, Star Wars is science fiction, fantasy, and Star Trek is science fiction.
So, yeah, soft science fiction, right? Because then we developed the new category for stuff like The Expanse, where gravity.
That's
and
hardcore
even they
science.
use a little, but they use a little magic too. The fluid that thins out your blood to keep you conscious or whatever it is.
Yep. Well, they had a lot of, and it's still based on fictional technology. There's the magic in there is that the existence of these creatures, the way they exist, is really strange. And if you've never seen The Expanse, that is a show everybody should be watching. It is absolutely one of my favorite sci-fi shows ever, outside of Star Trek, Battlestar Galactica, and Star Wars.
It's worth it for the amazing cover of Deep Purple's Highway Star when they're racing around the rim of like Saturn, and also they do use just a little bit of magic. Like their hard sci-fi is that there's gravity and physical limits, but they overcome humans being able to do it by like you pump antifreeze into your brain, into your veins or something right before you go way too fast, and that'll keep you from dying.
It's designed to keep your body from falling apart. It's crazy, but still it's based off of their internal theory of how it would work, so it still falls under hard science fiction. Anything written by Isaac Asimov is hard science fiction. Anything written by Arthur C. Clarke borderlines on hard science fiction or hardcore science fiction. Ray Bradbury, soft science fiction, because he wasn't a science guy, Ray Bradbury, but I love his science fiction. I mean, what was that? The Mars series that he wrote that was a bunch of short stories.
Chronicles?
Martian
Yeah, the
Chronicles?
Martian Chronicles. Oh, I love that. I remember when I was in middle school, I was reading it and I caught what I thought was an editorial mistake. And then my dad says, "Do you think that's an editorial mistake or something that happened?" And when he said that to me, I remember just because what it is at one point they have cigars, and then when you come back into the room, there's cigarettes. Cigars have disappeared. And I was like, well, that's an editorial mistake, because I've always been an editor. And my dad goes, but was it really an editorial mistake? Do you think it might have been done on purpose? And when he said that, my eyes got so huge. I'm like, oh my God, they screwed up. The Martians screwed up. And he goes, there you go, buddy. I'm like, oh my God. I was like introduced to a whole bigger world of subterfuge. All because of Martian Chronicles.
We get the idea that because of movies like The Last Jedi, again, to bring up that hated movie, The Last Jedi, we think that all subversion is bad. But on a weekly basis, every whodunit cop show and crime procedural gives us that and fills it out and completes it by paying off the mystery. In modern storytelling and sci-fi, they don't pay off the mystery. They refresh it with a new mystery and move on as if it was resolved. Watch how many times.
My problem with procedural today is they get lazy. And it's just basically cops see crime leads to first suspect, has to be this person. We're going to put all our energy into it. And then as we move into the third act, suddenly it's not that person. We made a mistake. It's this person.
Yeah, the red herring is overused. What's better is when they actually are right and lose that one or two times a season that they use to sell the rest of their season. Yeah, and it's usually the same lawyer. When you see that one lawyer who looks like Charles Schumer on SVU, you're like, this guy wins sometimes. He wins sometimes.
I like the black district attorney that was on Criminal Intent. I like Criminal Intent because it was the closest thing to Sherlock Holmes.
They flipped the show. They changed the show. It starts out, it was supposed to be mostly criminals, and the first 3 episodes are. But then, they turn Vincent D'Onofrio, who's an accomplished and amazing actor, they turn him into Holmes, and we just have a rotating cast of Watsons. But he's a Holmes in the real world. There's consequences for being weird.
His partner was always my favorite.
Wheelahan?
I love the subplots that were created for the show. The serial killer, his mentor, all of that stuff. Really good stuff. But the problem was it got overly formulaic.
Oh, Catherine
And then on
Irby,
top
right?
of it, yeah, Catherine Irby.
That's the one. Sorry about
and
that.
then he had his, I don't know, nervous breakdown, whatever you want to call it, during the show.
He went into
they split the season.
I think it's because of the writer's strike they split that season, because that show was meant for cable.
No,
and
it
first
happened when
aired
he
on
went
TV.
over a wall during
Right.
doing his own stunt, and right afterward he just sort of collapsed.
I didn't know
And
that.
it hit the news really big, and all of a sudden he couldn't handle it. He had never worked on episodic television before, and it was having an impact on him and his family. So he couldn't do it. He couldn't do it. So that was when they decided we're going to split the season. He does half the season, and what I would have rather seen is just the season cut down to fewer episodes. Because the other guy, I didn't like him.
Was this the year that he infiltrated? Was this the year that D'Onofrio's character's arc was? It was like you said, isolated, and what he does is he infiltrates without permission the state's criminal mental system. That was amazing from him. He is such a great actor, and I didn't know.
Me and my wife always called
that show
crane technique on Criminal Intent. Whenever he cocked his head talking to you, that's when you know you were
He would
fucked.
do that thing with his head.
Yeah, call him crane technique. Whenever he did that, you knew you were fucked.
He had a touch of Columbo, because he would have his mind made up and then circle back a couple of times here and there.
And that's why I tell people I loved Monk. Okay, I loved Monk, but Monk was, for me, it was a comedy around police procedural. It wasn't Columbo. Columbo was funny, but it was funny incidentally. It wasn't funny because it was a comedy. Well, Monk is just flat out a comedy. And I did enjoy this latest film, and I hope that brings him back, because Monk gave us some very happy television. But my problem with Monk was it was too obvious who the killers were. And it wasn't like they were really trying hard. It was just watching Adrian Monk do what he does that makes the show worthwhile. Where with Columbo, we saw the crime. Yes, we knew who the killer was. What was cool was watching him figure it out and how he would narrow it down and catch that guy in a trap or a girl. Because there are women killers too. He would catch them. He would snare them. And one of the most common criminals was one of his best friends in real life, a gentleman from The Prisoner. Be Seeing You. He and Columbo were very close friends in real life. The actor Patrick McGowan, and McGowan,
the scarecrow of Romney Marsh. He was awesome.
Yes, I've got that movie, dude. I've got that movie.
I had to search it out on disc, but it is the best. That The Privateer, half of it's based on him, and that show. Yeah, I love it.
I love Patrick McGowan was something else. But what a lot of people don't know is he directed a lot of Columbo episodes.
Really?
No kidding.
He and Peter Falk were close friends, and he says, "I will gladly be on your program if you will let me direct a few." That's actually my Patrick McGowan impression. I love Patrick McGowan.
Damn, you made me think of Carl Weathers again, man. I read an article on what Gina Carano said about him. Apparently,
I saw that and I shared that post.
Did you read it? Yeah,
because he's one of the few actors that stood up for her.
Yeah, and he directed her in one of the episodes, and she thought for sure he was going to direct a bunch of the spinoff with her in it too. Yeah,
it's just those two got along really well. Both of them came up,
sports first, right?
A lot of people forget he was an athlete before he became a movie star.
He was a linebacker for the Oakland Raiders. He sure was.
That's goddamn right, he was. In fact, he's in, what is that movie with Chris Christopherson and Nick Nolte, North Dallas 40.
North Dallas 40.
He's in that. Carl Weathers, man, he's been around for a while.
Long time.
He didn't become a movie star until Stallone.
He played for the Raiders in 70 and 71. Didn't see a lot of playing time, a lot of special team stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. But he was a good player. He's a hell of an athlete,
Mhm.
and that's why he
Played
was
in
so
the CFL
perfect to play Apollo.
too for a couple of years. Yep.
He was perfect for playing Apollo Creed.
Yeah, he was.
And it's funny when you hear the story about him coming on set and not really realizing Stallone is the actual actor that's going to be playing Rocky, and he kind of shits on him a little bit. And then later he's like, "Oh, that guy was shitting on. He's the writer, producer, star. Oh, okay."
I shuttle past you some information on McGowan that I suspected and found out because of what I thought about William Shatner.
Yes, and that was the thing with him. He was a recurring killer.
More times he killed more people than anyone else. This guy was a one-man Columbo crime wave. Just the absolute genocidal.
Oh, you brought the other ones in there. Yes, Jack Cassidy. That's Sean Cassidy and David Cassidy's dad. Robert Culp, of course.
Greatest American hero.
Let's see. William Shatner was like a killer like 3 times, I think. George Hamilton.
Says twice. I think he's in 3 episodes because I think they go to him like Hannibal Lecter. They're like, Shatner, how do we do it? And he's like, well.
I got Carl Weathers' Raiders card there.
Oh, man.
Whoa, hey. That'll be worth some money.
I wish you'd gotten that signed, man. That would have been so awesome.
No, actually,
this is just a picture of it. This is just a picture of it.
Guys,
he looked like he was part of the Mean Machine.
Yeah, that's what he looks like.
I'm sorry.
Of course, everybody that plays for the Raiders, you know.
What was that you said? He was part of what?
The Mean Machine.
The Mean Machine. Raiders already look like they play in prison uniforms.
You guys don't know what I'm laughing about because he said machine.
I know it. I speak Latino.
Oh, man.
He said the Mean Machine. I like it. By the way, I like the British version of that movie. It's called Mean Machine. And it's got Tony. Oh, what's his name? He was the terrible version of
Bullet Tooth Tony.
What is that actor's name? I forget his name. He played the Juggernaut in the X-Men films.
Yes, I'm trying to remember that.
Oh, hang on, I'll look it up real quick. I'm right here.
Vinnie Jones.
Vinnie Jones, thank you. Vinnie Jones plays Mean Machine, and the crazy character is played by the transporter guy. I forgot his name now.
Statham.
Because they're like best friends. They're best mates in real life. Vinnie Jones.
Well, they both are bad boys.
Bad boys, and both are former athletes.
Yes.
That being Vinny was a real football star. He played Manchester. That's right. And then the other guy, I forget his name again. Jason Statham was an Olympic diver.
Yes.
And he learned martial arts, and he was martial arts before he started in that fucking film, The Transporter, which is on the list of films for Anima to see. I don't care too much about Transporter 2 and 3, but I really love that first
really
Transporter.
Good. It is.
Oh my God, what a great movie.
Yeah.
I love the 3 of them.
I walked out of that movie. I was under the impression it was about Star Trek. And did you know the show Bones is actually about
that, Teague?
Do you know the show Bones actually is not related to Star Trek either? But Bones is pretty boneable on that show. Their Bones.
Yes, she is. She's very adorable. And do you know who she is the sister of?
Yeah.
Is she the sister
Zoe
of Zaphod
Deschanel.
Broxton's girlfriend, right?
Zoe Deschanel's sister.
Or by any other name, Zoe Deschanel. Yes.
Yes. And man, oh God, she's somebody who I kind of had one of those grown man crushes on a girl. You know, I don't crush much on people, but she's so adorable. And it's just like every time I would go like I'm looking at a kitten or a puppy doing something. I'm like, oh.
Which sister? Both?
What's that?
Are you an Emily or a Zoe? Which one are we talking of?
Oh, Zoe.
Emily. I'm Emily's camp.
I am Zoe Deschanel fan.
See, I'll say this, and fans
Neither
of
for me. Thank you very much.
BoJack fans will know what I mean here. In my personality, I'm very Zoe, but like in my desires, I'm very Emily. Oh, she dressed up as Wonder Woman in one episode. No, she dressed up as
I remember that episode. Yes.
And she
that
looked, and I was
episode.
like, my God, she does look just like Linda Carter. And I was like, started to swoon. And like, I had to take my own pulse, and it was like really off the charts. And I was like, "Does Dad's old heart medicine around?" Because that had me a little bit up in arms.
Okay, hold on a
I'm looking
second.
for it.
We've got some comments. I need to go through these comments. First of all, I do want to point out Jedi Bill did join us yesterday during the show. Great show yesterday. Again, if you'll share the link again, Martin. If you are not subscribed to us over on Rumble, please do subscribe. We are eventually going to mostly be over there and not give a shit what happens on YouTube. We'll still post our videos on YouTube, but I'm going to come to a point where I'm going to stop dealing with YouTube because I'm sick of their bull crap. But Jedi Bill became a YouTube member. I want to thank you. Plus, somebody like bought some stuff for you yesterday, didn't they, Teague? Some membership.
Yeah, I was very generous of Radioactive. Yes. One of the people
that was it.
From
Radioactive bought like 5
memberships.
10. It was 10.
10 memberships. Holy shit, that's fucking
We're gonna
awesome.
have a hell of a membership party. I'm gonna show porn. No, I mean I'm gonna show wholesome movies for the whole family. I'm thinking Ghostbusters. But yeah, thank you, Radioactive. That was really fun. And it was a great time.
Don't worry about it, Zach. That's cool, man. I talked about you yesterday. Badly, of course.
Okay,
but no, I love you, buddy.
I love me.
Hey, fuck you, Kyle.
That's right. Fuck you,
Kyle. We had a full house there. People were jumping in and out. You had a lot of people.
Well, we met some people. Some people weren't able to get in, and it bugs me that we should. I don't know how to do it. Like Tom does such a good job managing the back studio. And I thought even though they don't allow people to be live, they should allow people into the studio.
Yes. They should.
It's stupid that they don't allow that.
They sell you that. They sell you that feature. Have you seen that little notation? Green room.
Yes.
That's what that is.
You know who does it better is the EVMux. Because what I discovered with EVMux is that when I was hanging out with Culture Casino, while other stuff is going on, we're in the back. We can talk.
Yes.
Yeah.
We can talk amongst ourselves, and you can't hear it on the show.
I would be so afraid that I'd do my dyslexic stupidity and answer on the wrong channel and say the wrong thing. I always post responses in the wrong group chat on Twitter. One day you're going to see me say fuck everything like out of nowhere on Twitter.
It's always better to live your life like me and just talk the same way behind the scenes and in front of the camera.
What's going on,
no matter where I'm at, I'm always talking exactly the same.
But sometimes I just don't want to be confrontational with people. I feel the way I feel. Sometimes they just have opted out of getting to hear about it because they're unapproachable. But
I do have an insult that I've never said on Pop Culture Minefield.
Oh my God!
Then go say it now.
I came up with it back when I was in the military.
Charades.
I referred to somebody as a USDA prime choice cock pilot.
Oof. Wow.
Since I don't know what to make of it, it can't be a bad word.
Prime choice cock pilot. And somebody goes, what the fuck is a cock pilot? And I'm like, think about it.
I mean, that's a pretty good word. You invented a new one that can't, by definition, be on any list because it didn't exist till you made it up. Way to go.
Without Bang, Zoe Deschanel is hard to recognize. It's true. When she's wearing straight,
that's true.
Her hair in other ways, she looks completely different. But I also like her singing voice. I think she's got a sweet, adorable singing voice. She's
After 6 years,
multi-talented person.
I want to know what it is with all these beautiful girls getting plastic surgery and just destroying themselves.
Katie Sackhoff.
Yes. Oh my God.
The girl from the Mandatorium.
Oh, the girl from Battlestar did it too.
He did the stuff that Halle Berry did, the really radical stuff that's like very forward-looking. Halle Berry
Katie Sackhoff?
Yeah, look at her ripped grit. Look at her mouth. Look at the corners of her mouth and the corners of her eyes.
No.
And then look at her at Starbucks.
Hers isn't as noticeable as some of them. That girl from the boys is the
forehead.
one. The one from the boys.
From the boys. Oh,
yeah.
She ruined her.
From the boys doesn't even look like the same person anymore.
Yeah, it doesn't.
She looks like Gollum.
Hey, what's this?
Yeah, that was.
I've been off sick since Tuesday. I had to miss 3 shows, including my own. But I was really hoping I could pop in yesterday because Gary's the only reason I'm doing YouTube at all. Well, I want to thank you, buddy, because it means a lot that you you and I are still friends. He's such a great guy.
The
I
guys
fucking
that
love
have
Kyle.
been the best to me on YouTube, and I said it yesterday in my super chats, you, Comics Division, and Brian, that 70s Rock fan.
Oh
Guy's
yeah,
been most supportive out of all of
I
them.
love Brian.
Yep.
Hello,
Brian,
buddy.
God, he's such a prick.
But the
He
guy that got
recorded
me
when
into
I was
this
asleep.
is Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers. He's the guy that got me into this. His Last of Us 2 videos got me into doing this. Yeah. Absolutely.
Doomcock kind of inspired
What?
me.
Didn't you like The Last of Us Part 2?
No, I didn't, Homer.
So let's get this up on screen here.
I didn't like my hero getting wailed on with a 9-iron and 20 minutes into the game. No, I didn't like that at all.
Oh my God, you just reminded me of that story. Dennis Hopper was on David Letterman one night, and he was talking about that big story, if you remember it, when Jack Nicholson got out of his car and smashed in a driver's windshield with a golf club.
Really?
Yeah,
No, I never heard
this is
this.
back in the 90s, dude.
Mm-mm.
It was nuts. He got angry. It was road rage. Got out of his car, walked up there with a golf club. So Hopper told the story. And Hopper's like, man. So I called him up, man. And I said, hey, Jack, did you use a wood? And Nicholson's response, and he did a great Nicholson impression when he did it. He says, a wood? I'm not crazy. I used a 5-iron.
Why am I going to
Not
waste
crazy.
the driver?
And that's what a wood is a driver.
Mhm.
It's like, I'm not crazy. I used
Was it a Wood or a driver that Tiger Woods' wife helicoptered through the back window of his car?
She's
changing
crazy.
The course of his career?
She's
So
good.
she
not
might
so
have used
sane
the driver.
Right.
Speaking of plastic surgery, Tiger Woods.
Right.
Yeah, he looks weird. Next time with a big show like yesterday, assign time slots to the panelists. What's this one, Anima?
Yeah,
Assigned
that's-
time.
Oh, I get what you're
Yeah.
saying. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, that's a good idea. And somebody needs to keep tabs on that, Martin. How long somebody's on?
Who will be
All
that
you gotta do is
somebody?
right when they come on there, so we know how long they're on, and then you let me know when someone's like getting close. You can even
And that
message
way you
me
won't
by
have people
phone.
trying to get in
All
all the
I
time,
need-
because you won't know
all-
when to make place
All I
for
need
them
is
when
a
they come.
special tonic to keep
All I
asking
need
for
is a
sacrifices.
miracle. All
No, I want a
need
special tonic.
is
I want a
you.
tonic to ask for sacrifices.
So anyway,
just real quick, I just
let's
want to
get
say
on with
thank
it,
you.
this slideshow.
Thank
So
you
this
for
is-
yesterday. And I did something that I never did before on YouTube. When I jumped off your show, I didn't realize that I have to like end the YouTube feed manually. So for like 4 minutes there, I was on against the show on my own channel. And I was just really glad that it was tied, so I didn't have to win or lose to myself. But thanks so much for letting me be there. I really appreciate it.
Mm.
If I hadn't had
Sorry
to
about
go to work, I would have been there, Gary. But yeah, I had.
Oh, don't worry
Way
about
to
it.
go
buddy.
on 5 years, man. That's an
You were
accomplishment.
there in spirit.
I-
You were in the chat, so it doesn't matter. It's
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
So
How have you not
once again,
gone
let's
crazy?
get this
Tell me
started.
later.
Let's get it started. Let's get this movie started. Okay. So
I'm
this
on.
film,
I'm
Running
ready.
Scared, was the first in a while good buddy cop films. Now we'd seen some others in the 80s. One of my favorites is K9, which is a buddy cop film
It
with
is,
a
yeah.
dog and a fucking human. And it was a great film.
Mhm.
It's, in my opinion, it's better than Turner and Hooch because it's just
Yes.
it's meant as a comedy. and
That's
it's
the one
straightforward
with
action
Belushi's
comedy.
brother in it, right?
Yeah, Jim Belushi,
Mhm.
the lesser funny of the two.
Right, but he was good.
No, I like Jim Belushi.
Yep.
Don't ever get me wrong,
Mhm.
but he's pales in comparison. It's sort of like what Seth MacFarlane said about Joaquin Phoenix. It's like he really shit on him one night. Yeah, this is what we got left with when River died. Is Joaquin.
Oh,
And I don't want to say what he said, but he brought up the cleft palate.
The only thing River Phoenix really had that can't take away is no one else has been able to play anything related to Harrison Ford with any success.
Yep. By the way, Peter Hyams is the director of this film, and Peter Hyams is one of those directors that I love and hate.
I've been
And
in one of his
I
movies.
love to hate. What's that?
I've been in one of his movies.
What
Which
movie?
one?
Beyond a Reasonable Doubt. It was supposed to be a vehicle to get Jesse Metcalf off of that nighttime soap opera scene, and it didn't work out too well. Him and what?
Dennis
Michael
Quaid,
Douglas?
wasn't it?
No, Michael Douglas is the
Michael
big
Douglas.
time actor in it. Yeah,
Demi
it was
Moore.
filmed. It was filmed here in Benton. Well, all over this town, Bossier and Benton. And I was a featured extra because when they saw I had a sketch pad, I was doing a portrait of Catherine
Oh,
and
you
Michael.
told me about
I
that.
showed you the
Yeah.
I showed you the sketches. I've
Yeah,
got
the
the sketchbook
sketches.
back
That's
here.
right.
We won't
love
get into
that.
that today unless we got extra time. But yeah, I've
Yeah,
got
but Peter Hyams is
Yeah.
one of those directors that I love, hate, and love to hate.
oh yeah.
Because even though he's worked on some films I really like Outland, I love that movie. But oh my
Capricorn
God, the
1 for
science
me.
in that film.
This one and Capricorn 1. I love those two.
Capricorn 1, I love that movie too.
Mhm.
Another film he worked on was 2010, An Odyssey 2. The year we
Yeah,
made
he did do
contact.
that. Yes, he did.
It's
I
the
really
sequel.
That's
like that
underrated as hell.
movie. That's a really
Very
good
good
movie.
film.
Yeah, it is.
And of course, the science in that film is good because they actually had a science person in charge of the science on for the film.
Right.
And Arthur C. Clarke was still alive when it got made.
Yep.
And I've read all of the Professor Haywood books by Arthur C. Clarke because his story continued on past that. Because he had spent so much time in space, he aged slower.
Wow.
And that's a fact. It's what happens. If you're in space a lot, you don't age the same way you do on Earth. So he ended up being almost only a decade older than his son physically,
Right, he had
who
some fun
becomes
with
an
that.
astronaut.
Right.
I saw this sketched out. If you go on a Mars mission to Mars and back on a more or less round trip at the optimal time, your travel time is like 9 months all the way around, and you lose about 9/10 of a second, and from your perception. So it's like,
Yeah.
it's real, but real time travel is actually really boring. Magic time travel is much better for movies.
Yeah. So Peter Hyams is one of those directors I like, I hate, and I love to hate. But he's done so many films that I enjoy. The worst film he ever made is The Relic with Tom Sizemore. Look, man, I'm going to tell you, you can't take a 44 Magnum and fire it into a stainless steel door point blank and not fucking kill yourself.
Well, not with that
I
attitude.
don't know
you
if you had an angle, you may not hit yourself, but yeah.
No, he's standing right in front of the fucking door and he shoots it thinking he's going to get through the door. And I'm like, no, you would just kill yourself.
Right.
You would have died immediately. Like it would have blown a hole in you. So ridiculous because the ricochet bullet's not going to be, it's going to be deformed when it hits you. It's going to just,
Yeah,
do
it's going
so
to be
much
flattened a
soft
little
tissue
bit.
damage.
And yeah.
It's
Mhm.
all
Like a
it's gonna be
mushroom.
bad. So, but
They'll
I
make it
can't
like
help
they
it. I
used
do
to,
love
right?
him. And there's one scene in this film I laugh at so hard because it is funny, but I'm like, no fucking way would that happen. Cops would never allow that, and that's the pants scene in the stairwell. Because
Oh my God, yeah.
it wouldn't happen like that in real life.
I thought you
Not
meant
even
solve
close.
a crime in Chicago.
Or solve a finding killer in Chicago, right?
I was like, this is a sci-fi movie, right, guys?
Oh my God.
Doxing
This
myself.
scene is
I
one of my
saw this in-
favorites. And
I
you
saw
can
this in
tell this
theaters.
one dude is going to fucking plow him because he is just eyeballing the
How about
fuck
the
out
drunk spitting out the soda? That's funny as shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God.
But there's this one dude in the background, and these guys are I think they're American Indians.
Yeah.
Not this is part of the American Indian community there in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm hoping to see this guy. No, you
It's
can't
clipped
see him
out.
back there.
But he's
Yeah,
big.
you can't
He's a
see
big
him.
dude.
He's the big
Oh.
dude. And the whole time that Billy Crystal's moving around, that guy is just fucking eyeing him.
Eyeballing him, yeah.
It's Billy
And
Crystal
I'm like,
versus Billy
you
Jack.
can't help but notice that he's eyeballing him.
Yep.
And it's like, something's going to happen here. And of course, it does happen.
Yeah.
Yes, we're cool. It's all right.
No topsy, no foul. Don't worry, man. That's because he sees homeboy. Yeah.
And Crystal does a really good job of playing the tough guy in Chicago because he talks the talk. He's funny as shit.
He sees
Humor can
Julio
get
and
you pretty
Snake.
far. Now,
Jimmy
this is-
Smits, man. Yeah.
Jimmy Smits and his crappy Hispanic accent in this.
Had he been on
Um,
Miami Vice yet? I can't remember. I think he'd been on Miami Vice. He was Sonny's original partner in the opening of the first Miami Vice. He got blown away by a trunk bomb in the opening of Miami Vice, and I couldn't remember if it was. Hang on, let me check and see. This is 86.
Yeah, 1986.
Okay, let me
Well,
see
yeah,
when
Jimmy's-
Miami Vice came
Jimmy's
on.
Jimmy's from Brooklyn, by the way. Yeah, he has no idea how to speak Spanish. He is
Right.
absolutely
No, he's
acting
got a
when
New
he-
York accent.
Yeah, he had. Yeah,
Oh.
this is 2 years after Vice. Yeah.
I think it's Brooklyn. I'm just guessing, but he is absolutely from New York.
Mm-hmm.
So Alderaan,
Yeah.
I guess, is New York. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
Thanks a lot,
Well, you've
Vader.
got such a great cast here because you got
You do.
Jimmy Smits and the guy with his back to us there with the red hair. That's Joe Pantaleone
Yeah, Pantoliano.
Who is
or Joey
awesome.
Pants. His
Yes.
nickname is Joey Pants. He's a New York
Sopranos and US
Italian.
I was fixing to
general.
say you can't get more New York than that guy. Right there.
Also in this film, before they get on here, you've got Stephen Bauer,
Uh-huh.
who was a big
Yes.
star in the 80s, man, and going into the 90s.
He was.
And John Grease, who most people know him as Laszlo from
Mhm.
Real Genius.
Yeah.
But he's also he's had the honor of playing werewolves in 2 different films, Fright Night 2, and he played the Wolfman with Nards in Monster Squad.
Yeah, those
But-
two are the rival cops that are supposed to be
Yeah,
taking
they're
their
rival
place.
cops
Yeah,
to the main cops here.
right.
But John
And their
Grease,
boss
I want
is
to point out
great. What's his
something.
name? Dan. How do you pronounce his last name?
Dan.
Ah,
Oh my God, he's so great. He steals every scene he's in, man. And he's with two
John
heavyweights.
or Dan Hedaya. First time I ever saw that guy was on Cheers. He played Rhea
Nick
Perlman's
Tortelli.
ex. Nick Tortelli.
Yeah.
God, he was so evil. He was so evil as that character. But the next time I remember him in anything, he was in that movie based on the Saturday Night Live guys that bounce their head to music.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
Night at the
Night at
Roxbury.
the Roxy. Yeah.
Yeah, he played their dad,
He has
Will
some of the
Ferrell
greatest
and
lines in this
Chris
movie. though.
Kattan. I
We
love
do not
Dan
know.
Hedaya.
You are the detectives. Go and
Yeah,
detect.
detect. He's in an alien movie. He's got a really
Yeah.
diverse career. His IMDb is something to be envied. He shows a lot of range. He's done comedy, drama, sci-fi, dramatic
good.
sci-fi, action movies.
I just
He
think
is the bad guy in the greatest movie ever made, Commando, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger. Soundtrack by James Horner.
He's the villain.
That's right.
you do not understand a country like Valverde.
right.
I want to go to the Cuba of the Pacific, but every time I look for it, it's not there. They do a good job of hiding it on the map. It's like Wakanda.
Right. Now, I want to go back. I was bringing something up about John Grease.
Okay.
John Grease is best known as the uncle in Napoleon Dynamite.
Okay.
And it's probably the role that really put his name out there. But in the outtakes, you see him doing a scene, and he's supposed to be eating steak, and he keeps spitting the steak out in between shots. And he got a reputation of being a vegan or vegetarian, when in fact he has dispelled that so many times. And I'm here to tell you right now, he is not a vegetarian. He was spitting it out because he doesn't like red meat. He loves chicken. He loves eating fish. He is not a fan of red meat. He also eats pork. He just hates red meat. And
Also, a lot of actors spit out their food because for one scene, where
because
they're
you got to keep
they're
eating. That's
for
right.
hours.
Yeah. And so, he says that's a misnomer. It's not true. I never said that. And I am not a vegetarian. But he is in this, and he plays one of the opposing cops that's competing with the main characters. But this is such a funny scene because they're going to catch Joey Pants here with that
Snake.
$50,000 in that briefcase. And they just terrify the shit out of him. These cops are so funny and so terrifying at the same time.
And Pants has got quite the resume too. Eddie and the Cruisers, The Sopranos, and later on U.S. Marshals, and of course The Fugitive, where he gets hit in the face with an I-beam, which is what I want to do to all those deputies with their.
And he played the same
overlapping
character in both
dialogue.
films, by the way.
Yeah,
because they were because it's not really a sequel. U.S. Marshals is not a sequel
It's a spin-off.
But
It's a further
spin-off.
adventures
There
of
you go.
Sam
That's the word.
Gerard. It's
My
slightly
wife likes
better.
U.S. Marshals better than she does The Fugitive. She likes that.
It
movie.
is a little better.
I get it.
I'm
I
gonna be
get
honest.
it.
Mhm.
Although,
But yeah,
the way
this
the
is great. They
deputies
mess with
talk
him so much.
makes me.
This is one of those movies where you have to watch the movie a couple of times to get all the jokes. Because
Yeah, we just watched it again right before doing the show because I said, let's watch it again because I love this movie. I don't normally do that, but I so enjoy this fucking movie. It really is an absolute favorite of mine.
Dude, yeah. Top 5 comedy for me.
I believe it's on Tubi and Pluto right now. So
the movie is very hit. Oh yeah, they got the song "Sweet Freedom."
Mhm.
I love the opening song, "Running Scared."
Yep,
it's a good tune. They got a couple of songs. It's 3 songs in this movie that are really solid hits.
Yeah, Michael McDonald. What the hell is he saying? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Did you ever see that?
Yeah, White Nights,
Saturday
which
Night
is
Live?
another film with Gregory Hines. I love Gregory Hines as an actor.
Oh
It broke
man,
my
the
heart when
Cotton
he
Club
died.
is awesome. You want to see him and his brother dancing?
Oh
Go
my
check
God. I
that out.
showed that to Anima. She got to
Great
see
movie.
that scene
Yes.
where they're
That
dancing.
guy can dance. Man.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And you can see his skills a little bit in this when they're rollerblading or roller skating.
Mm-hmm.
Assume that series Frasier was the only spinoff of Cheers. No, it's not. But also had another one which is short-lived called The Tortellis. It did not last. It did not.
Right. It was
just
just
didn't
Nick
have the
Tortelli's
chemistry.
family. They had none of them. They moved to Las Vegas and had a whole different show, which on its surface is kind of a better idea than adding on to Cheers, but it didn't work.
Now, I do got to point out in this scene, I was curious how the fuck they got out of there. Because they had told him, yelled down to these guys, hey, we've got to go back to the station. There's a guy up here with a briefcase with $50,000 in it. Could
And
you
this
make
place
sure
has
that
really
he's okay
cheeseball
and
locks.
nothing
You
happens
just
to
push
him?
your way in, and yeah.
And then they walk out, and these guys are like, they're going, hey, we want that 50,000. And then the scene just ends, and I'm like, oh, there has to have been more to this. How they got the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
So, but I do love this movie. I love this opening scene because they're just terrorizing.
Oh, this goes on for a while though, because don't they go to a funeral next? I think
no. They first they go to an arrest. Isn't it the arrest or
no? I think
the
they
suicide.
The funeral.
The funeral's next.
The funeral's next, and then the suicide.
Get him to the
yeah, because they don't even get him to the station.
Remember, they get jumped in the alleyway going to the car. What a zip gun.
The shortcut to everyone understanding this one is their buddy cop dynamic is like very aware of Starsky and Hutch.
Yes,
they have something like that kind of chemistry, but they're funnier.
These guys know everything about each other, and you can tell. You know,
well, it's the bickering couple. But before Starsky and Hutch was inspired by another film that got turned into a short-lived TV series called Freebie and the Bean.
Freebie and the Bean.
And Freebie and the Bean is the very first buddy cop film. And it really pushed the envelope of racism between two characters. Because first of all, his nickname, the Bean, was clearly a shot at him being Mexican.
Right.
And then you get this cop, his partner is kind of a racist, but clearly they love each other. And there's this scene where they're bickering in the car like a married couple. And that's the first time you ever see something like that was in Freebie and the Bean. And they did it again with Starsky and Hutch. And I love it. And it really is based on the actors. The actors have to have that chemistry. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like Alan Arkin and James Caan have that chemistry. Yeah, it doesn't
work if they don't have any chemistry.
Yeah. David Soul and I just forgot his name that played Starsky. Oh my God.
Paul Michael Glaser.
Paul Michael Glaser.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Paul Michael Glaser had great on-screen chemistry.
Yeah.
The friendship shows through. And they were best friends in real life. They became best friends doing that show together. And it's the same thing here. You've got this chemistry. The rapport between these two actors is so good. And they're so comfortable with each other. And the homoeroticism in this film is just so fucking hilarious. I'm surprised they haven't done this on Toxic Tuesday. Which, by the way, we were going to do, I was thinking about doing Action Jackson.
Oh my God!
I actually considered doing it today.
Yeah,
as a farewell to
Carl Weathers. Yeah,
Carl Weathers. Mm-hmm. But Nick said that they're going to do it on Tuesday. So we're going to do it on Tuesday.
Okay.
And so I didn't need to do it.
Cool.
And I'm still sad about
How
that.
about
because
my
Tuesday's
needs?
way too late
Yeah,
for me.
they don't even get to the
same,
funeral
Martin.
yet. They're checking out the jumper. I forgot about that because that's
Yeah, I
some of
brought
my
that up. The suicide, but it's not a
yeah.
suicide. They find out later it's a cop.
Right.
It was murder.
And that's one of my favorite lines of the movie too. I'm always saying this, man, you know, especially when John's playing that Uncharted game at night, whenever he dies from falling, I'm like, deceleration trauma. Cement poisoning. Yeah. They said they got the cause of death and they both start jumping all over it. Deceleration trauma.
It kind of reminds me of that scene in not After Hours. Was that it? It was late shift. Was that it? Night shift. Night shift. Ron Howard directed it.
That's the one with
Henry Winkler.
and
him and Hank
Michael
Winkler,
Keaton.
yeah.
I'm trying to say the name.
Yeah.
Henry Winkler and Michael Keaton.
Yep.
And Michael Keaton has that one scene where he falls 2 stories and hits the ground. And he goes, "Oh my God, are you okay?" He goes, "Yeah, the floor broke my fall." It's the same kind of humor, like in this one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like when he says, "Does the blob have an ID?"
Yeah, does the lump have an ID? Yeah. Oh,
I like this. He's shitting on the traffic cop, and the traffic cop shits right back on him.
right. And everybody's asking him, "You weren't interrogating a prisoner on the roof, were you?" Talking to
Yeah, apparently.
Now look, this guy said you two weren't questioning a suspect up there, were you?
They are the
They've got
meanest
a
cop in town.
reputation, these two do.
Yeah.
It's too good, man.
And it's funny that Crystal is able to pull off kind of a Chicago accent, kind of, because New York is very specific, and he's got a Bronx accent.
I love
that one.
Oh, I love
Long
this.
Island.
Selling out cars and he
Long
punches
Island
him.
accent.
Long Island? Is it
from
Long
Nassau
Island?
County. He's from
Okay.
Nassau County. He might put on a more Bronxish, outer borough New York accent for his character. And he might have actually had that from having parents from there, but he's from Nassau County. He went to Nassau Community College.
Okay. So that's really cool. So here we got Joey Pants on the microphone calling out cars. UFO landed on Michigan Avenue.
And then boom, he gets punched in the
Fist
face.
comes in and just knocks him stupid. Joey Pants is just getting tortured in this
it's
movie.
so good. They beat the shit out of him. It's so great. Oh,
We have all
he
these
is
New
the
York
punching bag
guys
at the beginning of this
pretending
movie.
to be from Chicago.
Yeah, it's like all these actors are from New York, playing Chicago cops.
It's
and
almost
gangsters.
like most crime shows come out of New York, and that's where the crime actors seem to come from, huh?
Well, imagine that.
And now he goes to
In
the
the city
funeral
of New
for his
York.
aunt,
Yep, his aunt.
and we meet his ex-wife, and of course, Joey Pants is eyeballing her. So Billy Crystal makes him take a bow. You know what that means?
Mm-hmm.
Hits him right in the nards.
He nuts him. Wham!
Yeah, hits him with the back knuckle to
That's
the
it.
joint. We used to do that in high school, man. You go running by somebody, it's a friend of yours. Hey, man, take a bow. Oh, in fact, true story. I did that to Jim Woodward's little brother, Bill, and we were downtown, and it wasn't the first time that Bill went headhunting for me, because I ran by him and I said, "Hey, Bill, take a bow." just brushed his nuts with my fingers, and he was, whoa, like he almost got sick from it. And he went after me, started just swinging at me. He couldn't hit me, and I'm just like laughing, going, "Calm down, Jim. Calm your brother down. I don't want to have to knock him out." Oh man, Billy's so good in this scene.
He's good in everything. I'm sorry.
And this
I'm a
woman that
huge
plays
fan.
his wife is soon to be ex-wife. Or
No,
look
jeez.
at Joey Pants' expression there, just like, what the fuck is going on here?
Mm-hmm.
I love it when the priest comes up and shakes his hand. Like, what?
Oh man, here they go back to the car and they get jumped by the two guys. One of them's got a zip gun.
Zip gun. If people don't know what that is. A zip gun is a homemade gun. It's used with small copper pipe, and 22, usually a 22 cap. It's a short round,
Yep.
and a rubber band with a thumbtack.
Yeah.
I had heard the preferred barrel was a car aerial for those who remember what those used to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it's a wide enough aerial, you can use it.
Mm-hmm.
But they're really terrible, and they're only usually good for one shot.
Yeah.
And they're not accurate.
No.
And it's a huge
homemade
fuck up
gun.
on you. It is a homemade gun.
Yep.
And the other guy's got
Here,
a
you
little
can take the wallets, but we need to
32.
keep the badges, the guns in our
No, no.
badges. I think he offers him the briefcase at one point, doesn't he?
electrician's tape, and it uses a rubber band in the back, and it's
Oh, my
released by a trigger.
Yeah. It's too funny.
I think I'd want to snug that right up into the person's ribs before I started telling them what was going on. It's like, this is a gun.
This is so funny, man. Now look, I'd rather get shot with that pissant 22 than with my 38. You move again, we're gonna shoot your ass. He's like pointing a gun at a police officer. Can we waste them for that? I think we can.
I think so.
That's when they bail, man.
I think
This
more
is
people
so
are-
funny. Look at them. They're cracking jokes the entire time.
Yeah, the new math dress.
It's the new math. Yeah.
These young people. Now, this was the unbelievable part, that they're driving that fucking car.
Yeah.
I was gonna
They got a
say, look
zip
at that
gun and they're
awesome
driving
car.
That sports car.
I'm like, that's a fucking Mustang.
Yeah.
That's an SS, isn't it?
Let's
No.
let's
It's a
assume
Mustang.
that car.
No,
It
it's
is.
What
not
is
an
which
SS.
one is it? It's a
Fastback.
fastback.
Mach
It's
1.
a fastback. Mach 1. That's it. Mach 1
Wait.
Mustang.
No, it's not a Mach 1.
It's not.
No. It's
All I know
the
it's a
doors-
Mustang. Fuck you.
All I
it's a
know is
Mustang
it's a
fastback.
muscle car. That's for damn sure.
hey. They could have just lifted that car before. It may
That's
be,
true.
it may be
I was gonna
hard.
say, yeah.
Right.
They're
They
not that good
carjacked
at
it.
criminals. I don't believe that.
I'm gonna
These
say it
guys are
again, zip
terrible
gun.
criminals. And then they've got that beautiful fucking car. I was just like, oh, bullshit. That's a good scene, man. I love this scene.
And there's a callback later on. They're arguing about who shot
Yes.
what. Yeah.
Yeah, those were all 6 my shots.
Look at this. I'm talking to Mr. SATs. You fuckers are sick, he says. Snake says, you fuckers are sick. That movie, dude, yeah, I know every word of this flick. I've
There
seen
he
it
is,
so
Dan
many
Hedaya.
times. Yeah, he is the greatest.
He always leans forward when he talks.
Snake, tell him or
Well,
we'll kill you too.
He's a tall guy.
Oh my God. Hey man, I'm one of the abused.
Also, I love it when he grabs one of the Chicago Cubs hat and
Yeah.
is about to put it on. He
Yeah.
goes, don't put that hat
You're not
on your
putting that-
greasy head.
My Cubs hat on that head. No. Put it
I
on.
got to take exception
Right
to the
there.
way that Billy Crystal wears his sports gear. Who tucks in your batting practice jersey?
No.
And he does it again with his Blackhawks jersey. And he mixes and matches. He's got like the Cubs hat and like the Blackhawks jersey. And it's like, you're giving me whiplash. What are you thinking of today? Hockey, baseball? It's the colors don't match.
Oh my God,
please.
this girl is gorgeous.
He's so gorgeous, but it's the one thing, the flaw in the slaw that I have a problem with, but it's part of the plot is in their story, I should say. Part of the story of his relationship with her is she says she's not married right now.
Right.
It was the exact words, but she is married.
No,
And
she's not
so-
married. She lives with her boyfriend. It's different.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yes.
She's not married.
Okay. So now I don't have a problem with it. I thought she was married to this guy. I've always had a problem with that. So now
Well,
it's
to me, cheating is cheating.
yeah. Well, cheating is cheating, but it's a whole lot different when it's a boyfriend because he has every right to try to steal her away from him. Hey man, you haven't put a ring on that finger yet, motherfucker.
Right.
And that's the way guys think. No, I'm not doing shit until you put a ring on that, or I'm going to fuck around until you put a ring on that finger. And it's always been a rule of mine.
I like the ladies to buy me a couple of drinks.
Don't
first.
ever fuck around with married women.
Yeah, if you like breathing, that's a good
Now,
idea.
it's not that I didn't do it. I did do it when I was younger.
Oh,
And
I was fixing to say, but
I don't know how I didn't get shot. The Army, because that's part of the reason why I joined the Army, was to get my fucking head out of my ass. Because I was doing stupid shit, man.
I just think of guys like one of my favorite players ever in the NFL, the quarterback for the Titans that took him to the Super Bowl, Steve McNair. His side piece decided, if I can't have you, nobody can. Killed him and killed herself. And,
I used his depilatory for my ankles when I played football.
Really,
McNair.
really, wow.
No.
So who's here?
He was a great.
It's a joke on Nair.
Oh, okay,
McNair.
gotcha, McNair.
So I want to point this out that Anima liked this scene a lot.
Yeah,
She chuckles every time he hits the
Dude,
fucking
it's great.
siren.
I brought donuts.
It's just
I didn't get
do they
those
have a
ones.
motorbike in that bedroom? Why is that thing in there? It belongs on the street.
Well, I'm
Because
going to tell
it's
you,
not-
here's why. He lives in a warehouse apartment, one. Two, you don't leave a bike like that on
No,
the
you don't
street.
leave that kind of bike on the street. No.
Or in a parking garage.
Mm-mm.
That is the sort of thing you keep in your home.
He'd be buying tires every week.
Yeah,
Okay.
that thing would be.
European thinking. Sorry, we don't. We keep.
But that's
some
okay. But this is so
expensive
fucking
bikes,
funny
yes, but not
that he
motorbikes.
wakes them up with the police siren and then
Yep.
says, "I brought donuts. I would have brought some of those pastries. With,
Those French pastries, but I
pastries
can't remember.
start with a C, but I
croissants?
can't pronounce it. You sound
Bing.
stupid if you say it wrong."
Yep.
And the way you're like, I was taught to say it was croissant,
Croissant.
but in America, we just say crescent roll.
What?
That's really
I say
all you gotta
croissant.
say is crescent roll.
But then
It's,
again, I live in a
it's
French state, so you know.
croissant is
I
the
say
right
croissant.
way to say it.
Croissant.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
but the thing is, though, in the United States, if you go to buy them like at Pillsbury, it's not called the Pillsbury croissant. It's
It's
called
a
the
crescent roll.
Pillsbury
Yep.
crescent roll.
Mhm.
Because you are weird and you don't care about original names.
Hey,
I will
man,
never
those of
stop
us
shitting
down
on you for
here,
that.
those of us down here in the southern part of the Purchase, we pronounce it the right way. We do.
Yeah, because you get that,
You better.
you get that French dick in you.
Hey, that and guys like Emerald Lagasse get pissed at you. What I think's funny is everybody's like,
Emerald.
yeah, Emerald Lagasse is such a great Cajun cook. He's from Boston. But
My
he
favorite
does all the
growing
cooking
up, by
down
the
here.
way, was the Galloping Gourmet.
Yeah.
And I love that shit. But anyway, so
I
here we
love that
see-
line right there they just showed.
Yep,
Sometimes we have to both get women at the same time.
at the same time.
Bye, Lord Todd.
Okay, Thought, thanks for stopping in, buddy.
Be good, man. It's good to
Bye.
see you.
Let's see who else is here. Viva General Arias. Our Muslim uncle is here. Let's
And
see.
Ike has just
Viva,
arrived.
Viva
Cavatino
General
Cameron-
Arias.
Cavatino
Viva General-
Cameraman Che is here. Lord Thoth was here. He just left. It's good seeing him. Let's see. Comic Relief Crusader, our buddy Mike is here. Mike, I need you to do a new opening audio, please. That says afternoon instead of morning. Let's see. Dragon Ruse, of course, and Deleted Scenes is here. So it's good to see everybody today. Eat
Gotta
Clay
pop out the
Thomas.
chat. I forgot to do that.
That we called it a crescent roll because it was shaped in a quarter moon. Yeah.
No, Viva
And
General
Bye.
Arias. Viva General Arias was just me praising Nick Tortelli from Cheers, who is General Arias in Commando, the rightful ruler of Valverde. Sorry, that was my writing in there.
Dead Man
Here's some
Walking just
trivia
dropped
for
in.
you guys. Here's some
All
trivia
right.
for you guys. The
Well,
croissant
Dad,
isn't
man.
French. It was invented by Viennese bakers to mock the Turkish people after they failed to get Vienna.
And the
Was it
final
because
battle
the
was on
bakers heard
September.
them-
Was the
11.
final battle that year was on September 11th,
Yeah.
9/11. That's why that date is so important.
The
Hey,
French
that man.
claimed they invented it, but they didn't.
Is the story
They
is the
don't.
story that the bakers are the ones who heard the mining or sapping operation, as they call it, because they're up so early?
I think so.
That's why they made the croissants. It was something else. They just reshaped it.
No. They're shaping it like that to mock the Turks.
The
Yeah,
Right.
half
mock
moon
the
on the
Turks with
flag.
crescent
But
moon.
I think the bakers came into play. Like they were the ones up very early because they would only sap in the middle of the night or something like that. Because their
That
hours
is
were reversed,
possible,
they
yeah.
heard them.
Wait, is that time
It's
of
in-
the show?
It's in Baron Munchausen.
Are
It
we
has to be
already
true.
an hour in? Wow. It's time for that beautiful comic book footage, bro.
And here we go.
Meet the Seattle Vigilante. Like so many comic heroes, this warrior hides his identity. But his identity isn't the only secret he has to keep. After grievous wounds received during combat, Tier 1 operator John Russell begins to recover and comes to terms with his new reality of being an amputee. And as he learns how to use his new prosthetic limb, he finds himself caught up in the bureaucratic red tape that too many wounded veterans experience, the exhausting medboard process. Out of sheer frustration, John takes it out on the criminal scum of the city. But when reality kicks in, John realizes he started something that's having an impact on the greater world around him, and thus has to reevaluate his motives. And moreover, just how far is John willing to go to finish this war he's declared against the criminals in Seattle? And will he even survive? From the creator of IDW's award-winning graphic novel Code Word Geronimo comes a new story about a different kind of warrior, Vindicated Inc., the first of its kind disabled veteran action hero comic. The Vindicated Inc. graphic novel crowdfunding campaign on fundmycomic.com is provided in the description of this video. We hope you become a contributor. Please share this link. Thank you.
Can't
Very
wait
cool.
to see it, man.
By the way, there is a pause the movie again. There is a small cameo in this film by Al Leong, who is one of my favorite. You know, you're in an 80s action film when
Yes.
this guy is
He
in it.
has a rifle in his hand. Yeah, no doubt.
He dies
plays
in
One
every
of the
movie.
thugs. He plays one of the thugs in this. One of my favorite scenes with him is in Lethal Weapon, where
Yeah.
he's
This
the
one,
one
yeah.
torturing Riggs. But
Right.
this is such a great one again. I want to point it out. Al Leong is in one scene in this film. So there you
I
go.
like when Bruce Willis
In the
unloads his 9mm in the guy's chest when he opens the fire door to the roof in Die Hard.
Yeah, but
He's the guy that shuffles all the hostages up to the roof, and when he opens that door, Bruce Willis
and he's stealing sneakers from the lobby.
yeah, stealing the Snickers in the lobby was great too. Yeah, just wound them. Yeah,
Dadman says, hey, stopped at a stop sign using voice chat. So Lord help me what this turns out. But hello, everyone. This is actually one of my favorite gags in the film is
oh my god, it's great.
having him in there with all these cops. Like, are you fucking kidding me?
Do as you're told, number 5.
Turn to the right. And then Billy Crystal turns around and goes, no, not you, ma'am. Number 5, turn to your right.
Do as you're told, number 5.
So,
Oh man, so good.
not you, sir. Number 5. I just love that gag. Since Billy
Definitely the
Crystal
one.
turns to his right.
You bastard.
You bastard. That's the one. That's the one. I'll never forget his face.
Oh,
I love
Yeah,
this scene.
these guys went crazy a long time ago from working too much. So now the only fun they have
it's
is
so
messing with
great,
people
though.
and toying with their prey.
it is. They play with their food. It's great. It's awesome.
They're like cats.
They're like kind of hung up on their jobs. They love to work.
Oh, did we lose him?
Hello?
He just went quiet all of a
he
sudden.
went. Pew. You muted yourself somehow, buddy.
Yeah,
um,
Snake, you're free to go. Sorry to bother you. I love
Right?
this.
Free to go.
He's like, the fuck is going on? Why are you letting me go? No, go ahead and go. What he doesn't know is they got his money.
Right.
Man,
Goes
look,
to sign it
the-
out. Counts it. $5,000. 5,000. That was 50. He starts losing his shit. Oh, it's so good.
By the way, that was a cigarette machine right there.
Yes,
Something you just don't see anymore.
they used to exist. Yes, they did.
Do they not exist anymore? Or
You know, I
'Cause
haven't
you gotta
seen
have
one
an
in a
ID.
long
That's
time,
right. You
buddy.
need an ID so they don't exist.
I have not seen one in a long time.
Yeah, because you got to be 21 to buy
Yep.
tobacco.
Mhm,
So
you do.
yeah, I bet they don't exist anymore.
So you guys that watch all these like The Postman and all these other post-apocalyptic shows, yeah, when they're putting the wire on him, I can't do it. I can't do
I
it.
can't do it. You do it. And then he walks over and he goes, "Here, you do it." And
Here,
makes
you
him
do
do it himself.
Doesn't put it on himself.
That underwear is
Mickey Mouse underwear.
That's right, Mickey Mouse underwear.
Yeah, all those.
Everybody had a
post-apocalyptic
blast making
shows,
this film.
You know they did. When they
When you
kick
say
over.
a blast,
Oh,
Tell me that asshole isn't buying TVs. I mean,
would you say those were his lines?
oh my god, too good. Oh man.
Now I'm going to point out there's a scene with the dumpster truck, the trash truck.
Yeah, that's later
Yeah.
on.
That is
Yeah.
reminiscent of a scene that was done in one of the John Wayne cop movies made back in the 70s. The one where he goes to England, I think is the one.
Really?
Yeah, where he gets pinned between two dump trucks and they smash him, trying to kill him.
The worst is that one in Kick-Ass where they crush the guy inside the car. They actually show
yeah.
it. It's oh god.
Zack Snyder
it's gross.
making people cringe. What a surprise!
Well, that wasn't Snyder.
That wasn't Snyder. That's Matthew Vaughn, baby.
Yeah, it's Matthew.
Oh, okay. My bad.
I'm hearing
That's
nothing
okay.
but bad things about Argyle, though. I like his stuff, but I've heard
Okay, here's what's going on. People who don't like masculinity are the ones criticizing.
Really cool.
That's what I'm picking up. All the negative criticism is coming from people who don't like manliness.
Really.
People who dig manliness seem to be saying good things about this.
I love
movie.
Matthew Vaughn's stuff. I love Kingsman. You know, Kick-Ass.
I have a problem with. I didn't like any of the Kingsman films,
Really?
but I like some of his. I love Kick-Ass.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I love.
No,
Kingsman.
I don't like the Kingsman films.
Love them.
They're ridiculous. Is my problem with them is they're ridiculous.
I haven't seen the
So-
third one, but the second one I didn't like at all. The first
I liked
one
the
is
third
best.
one for the most part because
I
it
haven't
felt like
seen
a
it.
real story, and then it got goofy at the end, and I'm like, okay, I'm done. The first one was so fucking silly and over the top that I just
Well,
like,
Not supposed to be
I went to the
realistic,
cinema
though.
with that expectation. I was expecting to see a ridiculous over the top movie.
Is that the one where the guy gets hit by a car and that becomes his superpower because he's kind of jonesing to be a superhero anyway? So like
He gets hit by a
can feel no
car and
pain.
his nerve endings get shot. He can't feel pain.
Right.
anymore. Yeah.
So yeah, his
that's
superpower
Kick-Ass.
isn't really a superpower.
It's
Oh,
based
you know
on a
what? Yeah,
graphic
that's-
novel. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Zack Snyder has something similarly named that confused me.
well, he did Sucker Punch.
That's yeah.
Oh.
I like Kick-Ass. Is Kick-Ass 2 the one where Jim Carrey kind of goes insane?
That's
on
the
press
second
tour?
one. Yeah, it's not as good.
Penny liked
He also
Argyle,
went
apparently. That's cool.
insane.
All right. Yeah.
We
who's-
call
I
it
got a feeling
rational
I'm going to
people
like it
think
because I got an
yeah.
I'm not going to say anything else.
It
I'm not
seems
saying
like the
anything else.
rational people that
But
we
I-
interact with
I'm
on a
gonna see
daily
it.
basis.
Yeah.
The people that we know seem to have a more positive opinion of it on the whole than the people who
Yeah.
are paid to watch movies. What a shock.
Imagine
Yeah,
that.
don't trust established critics. Don't trust them.
Oh, hell no. I
but
mean,
anyway,
Become established.
this is the big scene. This is where you get to see Al Leong for one brief moment.
That
They're
line,
listening.
I love that line.
So they go rushing in because he uses the secret word to get them to come in. They rush in only to find it was a setup.
yep.
But this is the end of Joey Pants
Yeah,
because
he says you should be squirming too.
you brought him here.
You brought
And he
him
goes,
here.
yeah, but I brought him gift wrapped. And he just fucking blows him away.
Yeah, he does.
Don't worry, he'll be back to die in quite a few more movies.
Right.
I love Joey Pants. He's a great actor. He
I
was
dig
so
Jimmy
awesome.
Smits. I mean, this was the first movie I really saw him for an extended period of time, and I dig the guy. you know.
He's not playing it here, but I love Pantaleone as the New York to Philadelphia region guy who kind
There
of
he
has
is.
that attitude, and he's
Yep,
a little
there he
less
is.
trustworthy.
Mm-hmm.
That's Al Leong right there.
Yep.
You know, you're seeing an action film from the 80s if Al Leong is in the movie.
You are a big time baddie in a movie in the 80s because Al Leong's in your
When it comes
crew.
to Jimmy Smits, there are two things that I really liked with him. One, NYPD Blue.
Mhm.
I liked him in that. And I fucking love that movie Switch.
Which is good with Ellen Barkin.
Yeah.
Blake
Great.
Edwards.
Yeah. Mhm.
I love that movie. It cracked me up. Where
He's really good if you're a fan of the West Wing. He's a really, really good in the final season of that as the guy running for president.
he was in LA Law too. It was not bad. I don't know. Jimmy Smits was never in that much that I really liked.
I liked him, but I voted for Palpatine instead. I believe, if Senator Amidala wanted stronger leadership, why not give it to someone from Naboo?
I'm looking at it, and so many films I just really didn't think that much of that he worked on TV shows.
Mm-hmm.
Blood in, blood out.
I love the West Wing. Me and
Blood in,
Rhonda,
blood out, no.
we set up our own lineup for the 7 to 10 time slot because we hate regular television now. And like right now, our lineup is we watch Whose Line Is It Anyway at 7, Big Bang Theory at 7:30. At 8 o'clock, we're doing Star Trek: The Next Generation from the beginning, and then at 9 o'clock, we're watching The West Wing again. We just flip flop.
Stop posting it.
We flip flop between the West
I'm
Wing.
pausing it because I want to talk about the movie.
We're not going to
Okay.
have enough
We
time.
went on for half an hour beforehand.
I know, but I paused it because I want to talk about the scene.
Yes, sir.
Martin, that's why not you. Martin says that, and I'm telling him why I'm pausing it.
I'm unclear on which of us is in trouble.
Nobody's in trouble.
Nobody's in
I'm
trouble.
explaining to him why I'm pausing it.
Oh, sorry, Hefe.
Sorry, Hefe.
I'm Latino
looking at
too,
all
you
his
know?
stuff. I just don't see it.
I bleed pure sangria.
He's not in.
Yes,
Oh,
here,
he's in
here
Tommy
comes,
Knockers.
here
and I
comes
like
the
Tommy.
guys. The
Yes,
two,
John Grease and what's his name? Bauer.
yeah.
Steve.
They replace Snake as the punching bag for the rest of the movie.
Yeah, because basically Billy Crystal and fucking Gregory Hines just fuck with them the rest of the movie
That's
because
it.
they get assigned to them to train them.
Yep. It's too good.
And what I love here is that they chase down one of the goons. They get the goon that was told to shoot anybody that comes out that door.
Yeah.
They catch him, and they're like, "Well, he got away," and of course they fucking lorded over him that they got Jimmy Smits in their car.
Yeah, that fish is too
I love
small. You
that.
need to throw him back. Right? And they show Homeboy in the back of the car already. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, man, too good. Yeah, they're one-upping him the whole flick.
Vader
Right
didn't
here,
even
they
take
beat the
his
shit out of him
ball.
while he reads himself his own rights.
Yeah, that's right.
It's so nice to work with
Do you
professionals.
understand these rights that you
Just explained to us? Oh, man, it's a
You're
pleasure
so
to deal with professionals.
And of course, the minute he says that you're so dead,
Mhm.
immediately that's a threat. You've
Yeah.
been read your rights and you just threatened us.
Mm-hmm.
And what is the threat called? Assault.
Yeah.
Most people
misconstrue
tend
that.
to get clumsy and fall down the stairs while handcuffed after they say dumb shit.
It does
like that.
happen. It does happen. And I empathize with it. But a lot of people don't understand the difference. They think that when somebody smacks somebody around, that's assault. And no, that's battery.
No, spitting on someone's
Right.
assault.
Assault is threatening somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Spitting
with
might be a
battery.
form of battery. Might be the lowest form of battery
It is.
because you are
It is.
touching
It's
them.
physical battery. If you touch somebody with anything, it's battery. And that's why it's called assault and battery.
Right.
Assault is
Like
the threat. Battery is the physical commitment to it.
I would throw out there in recent culture, it's John
question.
Majors, Kang. I'm sorry, Martin. Go ahead.
Question, Gerry. I have heard. I'm not sure if that even the act of yelling without a threat it can be considered assault. Is that true?
It can be if you're menacing.
In New York, it is.
It's
Well,
well in New York. New York is where the law came from, menacing law.
Right. Oh, is that? I know this. Kang, Jonathan Majors, a recent pop culture guy. He is in trouble for assault, but was cleared of battery. So what the court decided was he screamed and yelled at somebody. That's all he's guilty of. It's not cool, but I don't know how criminal it is. And to be fair, if you only do it a couple of times in New York, they'll take some money off you and yell at you, and that's all that'll come of it. But he didn't put his. He was cleared.
The yelling needs to be
battery.
interpreted or picked up as a threat. It has to be threatening in some way. Even if you're not threatening to punch somebody, the person, if they feel threatened, it's all about perception.
That's bullshit.
This is a crime where you can be guilty because the other person says, "I honestly felt scared," and it can go to a glance.
Bullshit.
Well, it's sort of like, well, no, you've got the thing where a guy used the plastic gun to hold up a bank. Doesn't matter.
That's still an armed robbery. Yeah,
it's armed robbery because it was perceived as a weapon.
You're talking of the spirit of the law, whereas we're talking about how it could be abused. You're absolutely right.
Well, I figured that out, Penny.
Yes,
when I saw the trailer, and at the end of the trailer it says, "And now we want you to meet the real Agent Argyle." Right. I'm like, clearly it's Sam Rockwell.
Right.
They showed too much of him doing shit in the trailer. Clearly it's fucking Sam Rockwell. He's the real Argyle, Agent Argyle. Now I love this scene on the boat. Look how tan they are.
Oh yeah.
And people go, black people can't tan. The fuck they can't.
Yeah,
I had a buddy of mine, Vic Armstrong. Vic Armstrong, when we went down to Florida, got sunburned.
Now we missed the whole part where he got the money from his aunt.
Mm.
Yeah, he inherited that money.
Yeah.
Look, Sarah Connor's bike.
And they were basically run out of town by their boss.
Gay pride.
If you remember.
They were run
out of town by their boss. Their boss, one of my favorite guys in the movie, tells them, if I see you around the station, I'm going to have you arrested. If I see you in the city, I'm going to have you shot. You've been doing this too long without a vacation.
Billy can't skate with the shit in this at the beginning.
No.
But you can clearly see Gregory Hines dancing where the bathing suits are so 1980s in this. It's awesome.
The T-shirts. Tell me you got to slide to the T-shirts.
Oh my God! Please tell me you didn't.
I don't
covered it.
Are you kidding me?
I don't know.
They're airbrushed.
What the
whether they're airbrushed or not?
On with stupid.
The funny part about this is they both have women's boobs painted on the T-shirts.
Airbrushed.
But
yes,
Gregory Hines, the black guy, is wearing the white girl's little boobs.
Yep.
And Billy Crystal's wearing a black guy's T-shirt with big boobs, and I love that. Yeah, you cut it. All right, good. Thank God.
Come on, you could have used Mads on there. Come on.
Oh, he cheats. I love this.
Yeah.
His fish wins. His marlin wins, and the reason why is it's loaded with full beer cans.
Right.
They start falling out.
I love the first sunset they went to see. They're sitting there going, "What's the big deal? The sun. It's setting." Are you serious? Really? What's going on? Was it a crash in the harbor?
We're watching the sunset.
Oh man,
it sets every day.
They're in such a big city.
Every day.
Yeah,
and we come out every day to watch it. It's like, and I've been places like that. When I was in down in Mexico with Patty and I went on vacation down to Cancun, and they had little parties. You go out there and fucking watch the sunset.
Mm-hmm.
Cozumel, Isla Mujeres, and Cancun.
Yeah. But the only ones who do that are the tourists.
Just to be clear, you said fucking watch the sunset, not fuck and watch the sunset, right?
Yeah, that's what I said. And also, by the way, that's all that you see when you're down there, unless you're in a shop.
Right.
Now, I'm going to tell you something, Martin, that I found interesting when I was in Cancun. There was a bank robbery in Cancun the week I was there, okay? It was held up by what would be referred to as an ancient Mayan person. They're very short, squat people, very dark skinned, and they don't look like your typical Mexican person. And that is the ancient culture of what was left over from the Mayans. And these people are just so polite. I've never seen people so polite in my life. This guy held up the bank for exactly the amount of money he owed on rent, paid his rent, and then turned himself in to be arrested right there. That week I was there. Craziest thing I've ever heard of. By the way, I wanted to comment on this. Where's it at? E. Clay Thomason says, I think we all agree that Jimmy Smith's best work was the Obi-Wan Kenobi series.
To which Penny says,
God.
I wouldn't know. Didn't see an episode of it.
I feel your pain. You don't need the Force to feel your pain. I know exactly what they're talking about. They absolutely character assassinate pretty much everyone in the original trilogy. With a broad brush.
It's not even worth talking about, dude. Yeah, it's a dumb show.
I'll save my pain for Star Trek. Yeah.
So they have bought a property down there now, and they're going to own a bar.
And hopefully, if we get lucky, we'll get robbed.
Yeah.
I love this. Even little things like this, man, when they're sitting there playing pool, right? He grabs the ball, starts talking to him with it, and goes, where was this? Here?
Now, where was this? Where was this before?
This is in Florida. Yeah.
I love the rapport again between these two characters. Yeah. Great writing. So here's the scene where they go to the bank to get the to buy the property.
When he's going to sign, he's like, ah.
And once again, the scenes down there in Florida are some of the most homoerotic between these. Look at them.
Look at
this
the clothes.
This is your typical gay couple going down the street right here. It's so fucking funny.
Yeah.
I love
it. Skate.
And then the transition is we transition to
back to Chicago.
A bunch of people in Chicago, and a couple of skaters went by. Yeah.
And they're criticizing. Everybody's in a hurry.
Yeah.
Slow down.
I feel like they lean into the being homoerotic because they're probably getting a lot of that crap from the people that they spend 60 hours a week hectoring and watching.
Hold on, let me see if I can find it real quick. There is a photo from the film, behind the scenes photo of them posing for publicity shots that is absolutely leaning into it. Let me see if I can find it real quick. It just cracks me up whenever I see it.
My in-world explanation for this is the criminals that they hector and arrest on a regular basis, because there's we're assuming they're really good at what they do. They have job OCD. They love being cops. They love running around. They hate sleeping because they have to stop being cops, and they just everyone's kind of sick of them. The criminals hate them, and they've hung this on them, and they themselves seem to find it funny or something. They're going with it. It's why not?
Mm-hmm.
And no one could stay married to either of them. I hope they're both divorced or single because they are job obsessive.
Well, yeah, it's, you see Billy Crystal's ex in there the whole time. And what Gregory Hines is just dating the girl that's already in a relationship. Yeah. Neither one of them.
You get the impression there's not much time left over after their favorite thing in the world, work. Because they are happy as clams, even getting shot at. They just they love their jobs.
Right, here it is. I'm going to share it real quick. Share this publicity photo that they did is clearly playing into it. There we go.
I love the guy. The guy in the cage is giving him grief for getting a vest, right? Says, "Don't tell me you got a bad back." It's for lower back support. Yep.
They're just leaning into it right here. I love that. And that's why this is a movie that we need to do on Toxic Tuesday some point.
Is Billy on SNL while this movie comes out? It's right around the same time. There might be some overlap.
It was the late 80s going into the 90s. And
this is 86. Yeah.
I was gonna say I feel like just the mid '80s because I saw this
It
in
is.
high school, and the reason I think this is such a great movie is the first time I saw it, I did manage to get a 6-pack into that theater. 16 years old, 6-pack, watching Billy Crystal and Gregory Hines. I was on top of the world for those 90 minutes or whatever it might be.
Teague, had you grown up in Austria, buying beer at 16
was
would have
right
been
after.
illegal.
There's your
Isn't this a
scene,
great
buddy.
country?
There's your scene.
I have
Oh,
some
yeah.
Austrian ancestry, so I claimed my birthright and just bought it.
I'm going to let this scene go through and then I'll play the clip. It is so fucking
Yes,
funny. The
please.
little kid and Gregory
Oh, so
Hines in
good.
this scene.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite moments in the film.
Mm-hmm.
And hold
Just a
on,
second.
I'm going to wait.
Okay,
All
there
right,
you go.
Here we go.
There you go.
Here we go. Here's the clip.
He couldn't get away with it. Couldn't leave. That was so great.
That fucking kid was just getting under his skin, man. Pissing him off.
Mhm.
And I love this too, that they tag the card. It says undercover police.
Yeah. Yeah, I think when they first get hit in the
Unmarked police car.
yeah,
Unmarked
unmarked
police
police car. Whenever they first get hit in the alleyway by the guy with the zip gun, I think he says to one of them, "What do you think? We're all wearing uniforms. We all drive around in cars that say police on them." Oh man!
And this is pretty clever. What he does here is he takes the spray paint. He goes, "Oh, even I wouldn't spray paint a Mercedes." He goes, "I'm not." He spray paints the yellow curb
That's right.
and gets it towed.
Instant towaway zone. Yep, and he's going to lose right to Gonzalez.
Oh, I'm gonna.
I miss
one.
Gregory
That's a great way
Hines.
to punk people.
I do too. He was.
It was
so
a damn
talented.
shame when he passed
We
away.
lost him
So
too
talented.
soon.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, this is kind of the unbelievable part right here. They would have never wasted time trying to get that guy a pair of pants.
Yeah, well, he says, I can't really get a shot at him. So yeah, you could. You totally could. This is the most fantastical part of the whole film. But it's so fucking funny.
Funny, it doesn't matter. Yeah,
because he throws his pants for him, and he misses, and they fall all the way to the ground.
You did that on purpose.
You did that on purpose.
I don't care. We can get shot and killed as long as I keep on my pants.
It's so
There's a
fucking
certain
funny.
dignity in that. Oh my god.
Oh, and this also is one of those great moments. He goes, "Did I show up at a bad time?"
Right.
He starts doing the, "You have the right to be dead."
Yeah. You have the right to a coroner.
Because it's some of the funniest dialogue in this scene.
It is, man. This whole movie is it's so good. No hablo inglés. That's when he starts reading. Hablo Smith and Wesson.
You have the
Puts it
right
under
to a
his
corner.
nose. Oh my god, so good.
Look, Pedro Pascal, uncle.
I was fixing to say.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Handcuffs them together on the sofa. I love that.
Yeah.
And then they go after the gangster, and he's like, he forgot his pants.
Yep. But he takes a hostage. That's why they can't shoot him. They can't get a shot at him.
And in reality, they would have shot him. They would have hoped they don't hit the hostage, but they're not letting that guy out of there. And in reality, the movie would have ended right here. In reality, the movie would have ended here because they would have just killed him. But
no,
you don't have a movie if they do it.
That's Chicago. That movie would have ended in the boat. Once they got him, boom.
Yeah, he would have made it to the police station. I get your point, man.
Oh man, he died when we were trying to arrest him, man.
I don't know what happened. He just stepped in front of the gun.
But he kept smashing his face into my foot. And when he wasn't doing that, he was smashing it into my fist. I love this building. I love the design of it.
Yeah.
Kind of reminds me of the apartments from the movie The Professional. Leon.
Now I know parts of this were actually filmed in Chicago. I'm wondering if all of it was.
Is this the so-called Bradbury building for Blade Runner or not?
No.
Oh, no.
Just making sure.
That's yellow tiled. It is really
Okay.
gorgeous, by the way. Same kind of handrails, though. Very similar.
They use
That's
that same
wrought
building.
iron.
That way.
They use that
And,
same
yeah.
building in Wolf, right?
Yeah,
I
that's
believe
the
so.
Bradbury building. That's the
I
Bradbury
mean,
building.
harassment, I think.
And meanwhile, Wolf takes place in New York, right? Because he's running around Central Park attacking people. So the Bradbury
Yes.
building is whatever city he needed to be in for the movie.
Yeah, because
like
originally
Black
Ridley
Fortress.
Scott said that it was going to be New York, and they're like, "Hey, we've got the Bradbury building in it, and everybody knows it's a historic landmark that it's in Los Angeles." So that's why he made it L.A.
Yeah, and all Philip K. Dick's books were like San Francisco
San
specific.
Francisco,
So he
yeah.
wanted to keep it West Coast, and I'm sure Philip K. Dick was still upset, but like New York would have broke his heart. And I'll just say this: the movie with New York in that kind of future is Fifth Element, and it's just about as good. And New York's a little nicer than LA, just like in real life. So I see continuity
Well,
there.
look, I've always said this: New York is the armpit of America, and Los Angeles is the asshole.
Yeah, but we
'Cause
wax
if you look
our
at the country
armpit.
as an animal, that arm, and there's New York, and then down there at the tail end is. By the way, this is the ultimate wallpaper right there.
You know it. Both of them in long johns, firing away at a car.
And it was
By the
like,
way, I'll just-
what are they wearing? She didn't know what the fuck they were
by the
wearing.
way,
So here in the
No.
United
Hold
States,
on.
we have
I
long
didn't
johns.
know I didn't know why they needed them in a city. I had no idea that city was that cold.
Dude.
Chicago is full.
Oh, you kidding
oh
me?
yeah,
That's the Windy
heat
City. It's right on the great. Oh yeah, good
There-
lord.
the
Yeah.
dome-
Now, you know
over
why it got the
Chicago
name
was
Windy
ruptured
City is
during
because
World
the
War
mayor
II.
bragged a lot. And so New York gave it the nickname the Windy City because he bragged so much. But the fact is, it is right on what is
One of
it?
the Great Lakes, isn't it?
Lake Michigan.
Mhm.
And Lake Michigan, that wind comes off of there, and man, you'll
Yeah.
get speeds of up to 200 miles an hour between some of those buildings. And wind chill,
Yeah.
fuck,
Mm-mm.
fuck.
Mm.
It's cold in Chicago.
Yeah, it is.
Hey, Keely Chow's here.
Yes.
Any of
bet.
those northern cities that are on one of the Great Lakes, yeah, you better bring a parka and a whole lot of long johns like that and everything. Yeah.
Yeah,
Now,
Buffalo
this is
gets
another
wet.
thing I want to point out here. His pants fell to the ground. He could easily just walk into the building and grab them.
Yeah.
True.
He didn't
But they were
lose his
chasing him
pants.
out of the building, remember? Yeah, they were chasing
Yeah,
him.
you just got to walk right back to the doors, grab his pants. That's all he's got to do.
Yeah,
here.
but he
It's
just
it's one
wants
of the
to.
jokes in the film.
It's funnier. Like,
I think he just wants to get out of
You want to
there.
get Mr. Back up? See, this is the running scared part. These guys now own a bar. They're wearing vests.
Hmm.
They're calling
They have
for
a
backup.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They have a plan.
they have a plan.
That
They're getting the
plan
hell out of
requires
town.
them to be alive.
That's
So
it. And
now
they're-
they're afraid of dying.
yep.
and we have a
You got
breach
short
here.
timer's disease. You're getting cautious, aren't you? Yep. You end up dead that way.
They homed in on that war movie trope.
Mhm.
I don't like the idea of it going out the back door.
There you go.
Wow, I didn't know there was a backdoor reference in Oppenheimer. That's amazing.
We find
Yeah.
them all the time.
Yeah, in
Here
fact,
you
I was
go.
watching this, hoping we'd find one. I couldn't find a backdoor reference in this film.
No, there is none.
But I like the fact that now, like you said, Joe Pants is dead. So now we need to have somebody that they can fuck with. And that is these two cops.
That's a fact. They're the punching bag.
So
the rest
now
of the
they're
movie.
the punching bags for these guys. And I love that. And they really do fuck with them.
Yeah, they do. Oh, and here's their version of Q.
Yes.
Yep.
You want to
Now,
be
this
invulnerable,
dude-
invincible, invisible,
Yeah.
right?
This
Want
is
to be
Larry
invisible till
Hankin.
Tuesday.
Larry Hankin is in a lot of movies, but moreover, he's in a lot of comedies, especially he's on Seinfeld.
Yeah.
He's quite occasionally, he would appear occasionally on Seinfeld.
Yeah.
I heard Oppenheimer left audiences dead inside Japan's movie theaters. Keely, it's true because Oppenheimer was the prequel to Godzilla -1.
I think she's talking about in August of 1945.
I can't. He's coming to
Keely
arrest
is
her.
talking about August of 1945.
Yeah, this is a great scene where he pretends to arrest her
Over
It's
parking
great.
tickets, right? And he's
Yeah,
like, I
unpaid
told her
parking
1,000 times. Oh,
By the way, I don't think it's going to happen here in Springfield. Keith and I have talked about it. I want to see the black and white version of Godzilla -1 so
I hear it's a
bad that I
totally
don't-
different movie, man.
It is. It has a whole different feel. It feels like an old film. My hopes, though, is I want to do a fan edit of it, and I'm going to edit out all of his fucking crying. The main character's crying because it's ridiculous. He should have cried in only one scene when she's not dead,
I haven't seen it yet, so
and that's where he should
I
finally
cannot
lose
comment.
it.
Yeah,
I think it was made. Maybe they made concessions to a more modern audience after what he'd done. That he had a lot of guilt about because he also lets his buddies down.
Well, it's
He
so
doesn't
weird
exactly-
though with the Japanese culture. Men who are in anguish, the way you represent it in Japanese cinema is through stolidness, that they're holding it. You can clearly see they're holding back, and he should have held back until that one fucking moment, and that's when he should have broke. For good Japanese drama, American drama, yeah, he's a pussy. He fucking cries. at
That's what I
every turn.
mean. They're making concessions
Not
to our
Japanese.
audience. I don't think
it works. It
I
bothers
feel like
me.
he broke with his commitment so badly that all his behavior was going to be atypical, including his redemption. That was what made me able to like my head inner world explanation is like he really is far from the norm anyway. Starting off, and he lets his buddies down when the non-irradiated Godzilla-like creature attacks them on that remote island of Edo. By not opening up on it till the last second, and he might have made a difference if he hadn't froze
He's
up.
Absolute chicken shit in that scene. But the thing is, though, that's okay because that's part of his story arc. That he's a coward. That he's afraid.
He is, in fact,
he
by
finally
standards of that, yes.
And his arc is that he eventually shows the courage. And it's only in the last second does he realize that he can survive this. That he doesn't have to die because he went out accepting the fact that he was going to die.
I knew when they
really do
showed
like that.
when they showed us the German writing inside the cockpit. I'm like, ooh,
I
this
read
is
it.
leading into
Yeah,
real
I read
World
it.
War II
That's an
stuff that we
ejection
know
seat.
about. Yep, I said like this is definitely ejection technology, and we know that one of the last missions they had was like they sent a Japanese submarine or a German U-boat all the way to the other country with the parts and schematics for that technology. So there was aircraft technology going back and forth between them till the end of the war. And a bunch of Enigma machines. The Germans were like, these served us well. Never figured that one out.
So I like this line right here. Don't let me find you doing what they teach you. I love that line from Dan Hedaya.
Well, they got their own dig in there. They brought a box of croissants. And that's the first thing he says to him is croissant.
Croissant?
I'm telling you got to watch this movie more than once to catch all the jokes, man. You really do.
I'm the Michelangelo of the motor pool.
Yes.
Gives him a fucking taxi cab. But it's fully armored.
The same car.
Yes. Yes. It's bulletproof.
But it's the same.
But the problem is the windows don't work.
Don't roll down.
We don't know that yet.
You asshole Ace. Yeah. He said there's just something wrong with it, though. There's something wrong with it.
It's not quite right yet. And then he backs the fucking car into their Camaro.
Smashes the shit out of their car.
Hey.
Now it's the taxi.
Look who's here.
Hey.
Hey, John.
What's up, John? I made it on a Saturday show, bro.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, they came in and saw you weren't here and says, oh, he's with his girlfriend.
Well, no, I wasn't feeling well.
I'm sorry to hear that, buddy.
Oh, I had some stomach issues.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, brother.
I hope you're feeling better.
Yeah, I'm feeling better.
All right, good. Yeah, we're in the final. We're coming up to the third act of this film. It's right after this.
The big car chase is coming
scene.
up. Yes.
Yeah, the car chase scene is the transition from Act 2 to Act 3. Jesus Saves. That is the famous sign there in Chicago.
Yep.
Now, I will point out that for the scene where they go up on the rails, the cars had to be modified for them to be able to do it.
Yes,
I imagine,
it
yeah.
shows.
Anytime you see the under chassis of the car and the tires, they look weird for a reason, because they had to be cut at a different length, the width.
The axes are shorter. The tires are slimmer.
Knocking works. And all of a
Fucking
sudden,
bang,
bullets
bang, bang, bang. And then
Dirty
he goes to
Tony.
kick the door and his foot goes through.
I love it when he pulls out that huge ass barrel and he goes, "Dirty Tony."
This is where John Grease shoots Billy Crystal
Right.
in the scene.
I mean, center
And-
mass
but-
gets him. Thank God.
But because he's wearing armor, he survives the shot, but he doesn't think so. It leads to one of the funny moments. He goes, "I want you to go to Florida. Please tell me you're going to go to Florida if I don't make it." And he goes,
I'll go to
"Okay,
Florida."
you've got my word. I'll go to Florida." "You go to Florida without me?"
You son of a bitch, I'll kill you first. You feel better? Yeah, maybe it's the vest.
I love this movie.
Yeah,
so
these guys
much.
are great, man. They are awesome.
Promise me you'll go without me. All right, I promise I'll go with you. Without me, you son of a bitch. Where's my gun? I'll kill you first. Oh my God, I love this movie so fucking much. It's
It
so
is
funny.
fantastic, man. It is a laugh riot. The only time you're not laughing your ass off is in the final scene because it gets deadly serious in the end of it. Yeah. Leading up to it though, it's a laugh riot, man. It really is. But from here on out, any scene that's got Jimmy Smits in it is not funny anymore. He wants these guys' heads on a platter. He wants them both dead. You know?
Yep.
Darth Vader doesn't even take his call when they try to call him up in Rogue One.
This is
They
one
don't
I
even bother to show.
I wanted to clip this because I love what they do here.
Oh,
They
it's so
get
great.
they get answers to their questions and they let him go, and then they yell, "He's getting away!"
Getting away!
Then you see the other cops running after him. It's funny as hell. He's getting
when
away.
I like when they're questioning him later on and they take the ink off of the tattoo thing and they're
Oh,
doing his
later,
face, and
yeah.
he goes, "What do you mean? It's perfect. It says born to squeal."
Born to squeal.
Yeah, there they are saying, "He's getting away."
And then they high five each other and walk away.
Yep.
But then they realize they got screwed
Yeah.
because the info that he gave him was bad.
Mm-hmm. Well, actually, they don't. No, they don't find it out. Not until
It's the cocaine scene. He says this cocaine is bad. You mean bad like amazing?
That's right. Yeah, yeah,
No,
yeah.
it's bad.
It's pure shit.
If you get caught on this,
As in
on
the shit is
street, they
bad?
kill you.
Yeah. Oh man.
Now the woman that plays Billy Crystal's wife in this, or
Mm-hmm.
what's her name? Darlene Flugel. Darlene Flugel.
She's gorgeous, but I don't
Oh,
know
she
that I
is.
saw her in anything
She
else.
is in
man.
2 movies that I absolutely love.
Really?
Number 1, To Live and Die in L.A.
That's right. She is in Live and Die in L.A. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yep, and she is in what is that other film? Give me a second. It is Battle Beyond the Stars.
Yep.
She's in Battle Beyond the Stars.
Oh,
I haven't seen that in a long time, so I
Yeah,
wouldn't
she's
know.
in there. She's in Lockup too with Stallone.
Never seen Lockup.
She has a
you should.
part in Pet Sematary 2 with the Terminator kid. I forget his name. And she is also in Darkman 3, Die Darkman Die.
oh my
Is
God.
there's only one Dark Man movie, dude.
But she's
Yes,
great.
sadly.
And
Liam
To
Neeson
Live and
is
Die in
the
LA
only
is a film that I want to
Darkman.
do on here one weekend because I fucking love that movie.
Dude, the
Just-
maker of The French Connection, right? The director, yeah.
Good
Oh, yeah.
movie.
Look, man, Friedkin he pulled a Hitchcock on us with like he did in Psycho.
Mm-hmm.
In that final scene with what is his name? William Peterson.
Yeah.
His character is the main character of the fucking film.
Yeah.
And then boom.
Kills
Yeah. Just like DiCaprio in
that
The
scene.
Departed. Bye-bye. See ya. That quick.
it's just fucking over. And you're like, what the fuck? And then, but there's still
Yep.
more movie left. And you're like,
There's a whole lot more movie.
how can there be more movie left? And then it really fucking
Yeah.
goes heavy.
Mhm.
Oh my God. I've got chills just now.
Yeah.
I got goosebumps just talking
Mhm.
about that scene.
good
That
stuff.
movie.
Oh,
and
it's
I
a
played the
grisly ending too.
soundtrack.
He takes a shotgun blast to the face. It's not pretty at all. Yeah.
Oh no, it
Woof.
is a bloody, gory, rough scene.
Mhm.
And this is funny as shit because they think this priest and this nun are
That's
fake.
right. They've
He-
got the
he
priest and
says,
the nun in the
Here
back.
you go, sit right next to your wife in the back of the taxi. He says the priest tells the priest to sit next to his wife, the nun. That was funny. as
Yeah,
shit.
and he also tells him later on, look, the only thing I want to hear from you is when you, the only confession I want to hear from you is when you confess to me. All right. Yeah.
But this leads to the big chase scene where they end up on the L,
Mhm.
which is, I love that scene. I really do. Even though it's ridiculous, so over the top. But right when they're headed towards the train, the nun yells, "Holy!" Or she goes,
Yeah.
"Oh shit!" And
Yeah.
they yell shit.
Yeah.
But she's clearly going to say it too.
Yeah, this is a good chase scene though, man. I mean, I'm a big fan of stunts and stuntman, and I really like the work they did on this. And some of you can tell some of the camera work's a little different. Some of it's sped up. You know what I mean? You can tell that
yeah.
they shot it with a high
Oh,
frame rate.
on the chase on the rail, it's sped up.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
clearly sped up because
For sure.
you cannot go that fast.
Right.
But
But when
this leads to a comical moment where Jimmy Smith's shooting at them, and he goes, "All the windows are bulletproof. Yes, good job." And then he goes, "Here, let's shoot back," and he can't roll the window down. Windows don't work, and then they get mad at the guy for not making the window
You
work.
asshole, Ace!
There it is. It's really bulletproof. Yes.
He's sitting there making fun of him and doing that. Yeah, that's hilarious.
But the windows won't roll down. Then they go, "You asshole, Ace." This might be a good, because they're about to drive into something.
He's bluffing. He says about the train.
Yeah, the train's bluffing.
He's bluffing. Oh man, this whole movie's a laugh riot. Like I said, right up until the last part in the state, or I think it's the city building, or it might be the state building they're in. It's a big, pretty glass building that they have in Chicago.
And it leads to a great joke. And he goes, "You have to jump to me." "No, you jump to me." It's like, "No, you have to jump to me."
Right.
Your elevator's not working.
He has to stop and explain it to her.
And this is that crazy scene. And like I said, they had to modify the vehicles to be able to do this. The vehicles also had to be raised as well. They had to be raised in order not to hit the rail.
Yeah. They kind of rock back and forth. You can see it when they're hitting the rails and stuff. It's pretty cool.
But here it is. They're coming up on this train and they're like, "Oh shit."
Yeah.
I got to tell you, man, Peter Hyams may not know science, but God damn it, he knows how to make a fun movie.
He knows how to make a fun movie. He knows how to shoot action too. He really does. The chase scene at the end of Capricorn 1's pretty good too. And like the car stunt, if you remember, Elliot Gould, when he starts closing in on what's going on, remember they kill his brakes in his car and he has to drive it with no brakes and ends up driving right off of I think it was a bridge that was raising or something like that to let a boat through, I think.
Right.
Yeah. That's a great scene in that movie too. He can shoot action, man. I dig it.
But here's another great gag. Why weren't you on the track?
Why weren't
on
we on
that
those
track? And
that
he goes,
track?
"Now you're criticizing my driving." I love this.
Oh my God. Hey father, you owe me $28.50.
You and your wife owe me. Yeah.
Right. Now they gotta apologize.
Now they got to apologize. We're so sorry. They didn't realize they were real priests.
All this good stuff, and what I think the priest was really cavalier about it. He said something to the effect, "In my calling, forgiveness can be an occupational hazard." And the nun whips out a ruler and busts friggin' Billy Crystal on the knuckles.
Yeah, It's right here. Wax him on the knuckles. And I laughed at that because I've had that happen to me by a
I'm
nun.
sure.
Not once,
Yeah.
many times. I've been wrapped on the back of the head, back of the wrist, and back of the hand.
Yeah.
Dude.
And on my palms, too. I got wax
Those
once on my
American
palms.
nuns are something.
And in
Yeah,
his
but did it help?
frustration,
No.
and in Billy's
Right.
frustration, he actually finds the cocaine.
Yeah, he breaks the vase, and you realize, oh my God, the vase itself is made.
How
It's
many
okay.
times has this happened to you?
Captain!
They're almost singing it. Yeah.
That explains where all that missing cocaine I always lose track of in my apartment went. It turned itself into a vase. That's all those hours of searching.
All right, guys, before you guys get to the end of it, I've got to get going. We're going to see The Beekeeper tonight, so we got to go to dinner first and all that. So
Hope you have enjoyed
I'm
it.
glad
Bring
I
a
You're
finally,
good.
I'm glad I
David Ayer
finally,
directed it, and he's a very good director. I like David Ayer.
cool.
Joe, please bring some adrenaline shots with you in case the bees sting anyone. You don't know if you have anaphylactic shock to risk.
I need
you
some
know.
EpiPens.
Don't make it worse.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, it might be. Don't make it worse.
All right, man. I'll try not to. Anyway, you guys have a good one. I'm glad I finally made it on one of these these great Saturday afternoon things you do, man, because you do the best stuff on Saturdays, and now I'm off, so I can be on here for it. You guys be good, okay? See ya.
Have fun, man.
Have a good one.
See you later. Take care, Joe.
Look, Ruben
So-
has the same last name that the director.
Yeah, Chicago before it went to shit. That's right.
It's not so great at this point. Anyway, I don't know if it was ever such a great place. New York's a lot nicer. You can shave an armpit. I leave it to Team America to what you could do with America's asshole, to use your analogy from before.
Yeah. So now we have the build up to the this is the trash scene. And it's the kid that they did the fake tattoo on that's driving the dump truck. The trash truck. Great use of lens flare here, unlike the way J.J. Abrams does it. Yeah, they can't open the damn windows and the fucking doors are blocked, so they're fucked.
Yes, they are.
By the way, I like this joke by Keely Chow. I heard Oppenheimer bombed in Japan.
It's a bit borderline, I have to say.
It's
That
so
is
bad.
dark.
It's very dark humor.
But we're safe.
So I hope Ruben, I hope all
It's
you
okay
guys
for
are having a good
French
weekend. I love Saturdays. I love doing the Saturday show. It's fun.
Well, we're discussing great movies on the show.
Mm-hmm. And I want to remind people that I was going to switch today's show, but to do Action Jackson with Carl Weathers, but don't have to because Nick decided we're going to do it on Tuesday for Toxic Tuesday. So
I
we will
still
be doing
will do
that
it
one.
eventually on our channel.
Eventually, I'd like to because I like the film and I like to talk about some of the trivia behind it. Because look, you've got Craig T. Nelson in it in his second dramatic action film. He did that movie, and he also was in The Osterman Weekend with Rutger Hauer. In fact, his character is Osterman. So, yeah, I like it. They just come out shooting. They shoot right into the truck. We're gonna kill these guys. There it is, daylight, and the fucking vehicle still in the top of that truck.
And now they're in Julio's car.
Yeah, they steal Julio's car. And it's really funny because he just says, no, you can't have it. And then he just says, I like this one. I'm taking it. It just drives off with it. Of course, in real life, you can't do that. Get in so much trouble.
Of course not.
And this is a voice that he does. It really cracks me up. I've done that voice so many times. Oh no!
Yeah, I love it when you do that.
This is terrible flocking right here.
Is that voice
is
like? Is it?
There's no real snow there. That's all flocking.
Yeah, that looks terrible.
When you do that
It
voice,
could
is
be
it
mashed
Dr.
potatoes.
Nick? Is that inspired by Dr. Nick from The Simpsons? Oh no!
It's very similar, but
Yeah,
no, it is
but I
a
think
voice that he did on Saturday Night Live first. Oh, and Billy Crystal, he did Saturday Night Live 83 through 85. I think he was on there for 2 seasons.
Yeah, they walked away from having it be like the youngest, newest people to being like, let's put on a presentable show for a little while after we had a bunch of problems.
Yep.
And it worked.
Oh, and there's the Aztec calendar. I never noticed that before.
It's off by a couple of years, but they're right.
Isn't Menudo on ABC?
Like I said.
You know,
As I
didn't even
said.
know- I didn't even know Menudo was a food until I had Menudo. And I'm like, it's a food,
What-
not just a
what's
boy
that?
band?
What are you talking about?
That
It's a
shit
food?
still exists?
Okay, which one are you talking about?
The boy band Menudo. That still exists?
I don't think so. But in
think
the
it
movie,
might.
they mentioned Menudo.
No,
Yeah,
because you
Menudo.
said that.
They asked where the Menudo concert
Yeah.
is, and I said, "Isn't Menudo on ABC?" Because they had this deal with them, and there was like during like Saturday mornings they had Menudo on ABC.
I didn't know that.
That
But,
rings
never
a
heard of
bell.
that.
That's not
but
that.
so I just thought it was the boy band. And then I found out that Menudo is an actual food. And so I'm at my buddy
Yeah.
Chris's house, Carrasco, and his uncle came up from Mexico and brought a big pot of Menudo. And they lifted the top, and Chris like, smell this, and I went, oh, ooh, it's like kimchi. It's like, ooh. And but then we started eating it, and we ate. He and I, my cop buddy, he and I sat there and ate the whole pot. The family was so pissed. We ate every bit of it. Menudo is delicious. This is when he does the great voice. Oh, we're watching Jeopardy.
Hey, Ben Mascar is here.
He did not know the answer was Deuteronomy. And then he uses the word Ipswich, which is a word that I've used a lot in my vocabulary just for fucked up things to say. Like that game I used to play with my daughter, where I would start tickling her, pinching the inside of her thigh and her knee. And she had, in order to get me to stop, she had to say the words, please, Mr. Ipswich, cease and desist all tickling activities. And I said, you can't stumble on it. You have to say it in one sentence. You got to say it to get him to stop.
That is mean.
She loved it, though. It was so funny because she'd be giggling back there trying to say the words.
Yeah,
It was-
you tickle me.
It was my original version of the Dicky Doo. She's got such
you're
80s
just-
hair. Look at that 80s hair.
You're just realizing that Gary's a dick even to his own daughter.
No. I know that.
I'll tell you, she really did love the way I raised her, but she will tell you, Dad is a dick. But then again, my daughter is a dick. And the more
Well,
you get to know my
she's-
daughter, you can see that
She-
that my personality is in her. It's in there. It's ingrained.
Zoe is you with a vagina and tits.
Yes.
The what?
Yeah.
Same personality, cloned.
Zoe said that one day. Well, she said boobs. She goes, I'm just like my dad, but with vagina and boobs. She's so funny. And it's so clear from the very beginning that they're in love with each other. And it's always bothered me because there was a video. I don't know if you saw that video of this woman. She didn't want the marriage to end with her husband. So what did she do? She threatened to divorce him by saying, I want a divorce. And he goes, okay. It backfired on her. I'm like, that's why sometimes just saying really what's going on is better. Being honest and frank and blunt.
Sometimes
Rather than trying to play games.
that
And
usually
that's
happens.
sort of what this comes off as, that there's no dentist. This is all to get his attention. And yes, it makes for fun comedy, but in reality, people that do that shit piss me off. Because I think it's disingenuous. Fucking be honest with people. Oh, Venkman's girl is here.
Yes, I told you, but you ignored me, like you do always.
Is he talking?
She's
right now? I
usually
can't even
coming in
hear him.
towards the end.
It's okay, Martin. They don't know him like you do.
I don't know how to take that.
I'll explain later.
Just let it slide.
And, once again, the thing about this film, this isn't like The French Connection. This is a silly film. It's just so much fun. It's a fun film. It's sort of like Freebie and the Bean is not The French Connection. It's a fucking comedy. A buddy cop action comedy. Whereas The French Connection is about two cops, but it is not a comedy. It is dark and heavy and they put lives at risk in that film. Friedkin got no permission for those scenes with the chase scene underneath the train. That was all done live, guerrilla style filmmaking.
And that could easily be Queens. We have the exact same kinds of overhead trains and a lot of filming facilities here.
Part
I
of
feel
it,
like
that
it might
was.
be. Yeah,
French
it's
Connection was New York.
Long Island City. Yeah, I think that this scene in this Billy Crystal movie might have been filmed in New York too. It looks just like Long Island City where that French Connection scene goes down.
Right.
And there's a lot of filming there. Astoria Kaufman Studios is the location of the Museum of the Moving Image and is also a very large operating studio. They took Bill Cosby's plaque off the building for some reason.
Don't know why.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know.
no
He
idea.
filmed one of the most well-liked shows in America there for something like 13 years. Like,
Nope,
one
it
day
was
disappeared.
it was shot entirely in Chicago, except for the Florida scene.
Okay.
Which was shot in
You know, it's
Florida.
a Chicago. I would feel right at home on that street in Chicago. I'll have to keep that in mind. Maybe I will go there for like a baseball game if it's safe.
Well, its nickname is the Second City, Chicago. It's not
Can I
just
get like a
Windy
bullet?
City.
Can I get like a bullet-resistant vest at the airport to wear to the game?
Look, double anima. Not only
Yeah.
that, you have to wear shoes protection. You can step on something.
I'm hearing the cars moving in stereo in my mind, looking at the double icon. Bow, bow.
That is so weird though, because he was in the studio first.
Who was in the studio first?
Oh, I got it.
You
It's
were in the
everywhere
studio
now.
first. I had to change.
Oh, I'm
my
sorry.
audio.
I had to stop and
couldn't
talk to
keep yours
Don
online.
for a second. I muted and was I you for a second?
Yes, you were
Yes.
me, and that's weird.
Das
because you were
Wolfen.
in-
Well,
Oh
now
my God,
Das Wolfen
am I
is
dating
you.
Das Wolfen too, John?
oh
Are
my
we in
god,
a relationship, John?
my
I think
avatar
we
has
are.
superpowers.
Now you need to switch yours and make it John's. That'll
Oh,
confuse
that-
people.
Oh, that would be so wrong.
Okay, here we have the build up to the final
Oh my.
confrontation. Yeah, John, you want to check
No,
your
this feels-
avatar? It's
This feels wrong.
because you are now my girlfriend and Anima is you.
I did that.
Don't envy you, John.
John is
what I
looking
do-
like Michael Douglas right now at the end of the movie Falling Down, where he's unamused.
I get why I did it to John because he came in after me and apparently didn't check. But why did it to
Well,
you?
now, if
Well, you
everybody's
switched
going
to
to
us,
do it,
that's weird.
I'm gonna do it too.
What's that?
Godzilla with a shotgun.
Nice.
Godzilla doesn't need a shotgun. He is a shotgun.
But Martin does. Martin does. He's a shotgun guy. The funniest thing about watching John play Baldur's Gate is Martin complaining that there's no shotguns.
What Martin needs is bowling lessons.
That as well, yeah.
God, I love this building.
It looks so
I'm
cool.
surprised that they got permission to do this whole scene. Especially after the problems that happened when they shot the Blues Brothers.
What is the purpose of this building?
What is the porpoise?
My fucking God!
They shot the Blues Brothers. Those bastards.
Are you sure it's a porpoise and not a dolphin?
What problems did they have with the Blues Brothers?
There was damage.
No, but
it was done.
They got. Oh,
there was physical damage that they didn't have permission to do.
Huh, I didn't know that.
Is it when they come crashing through the windows, or is that filmed somewhere else?
I'm not sure which one it is. I just remember reading about it in the news at the time before the movie even came out that there were some problems. Now I do like this scene. I like this elevator scene. And this moment is so good because he tells her, "You have to jump to me." And she goes, "You jump to me." And I'm like, oh my God, she doesn't understand the concept of being rescued at all. And doesn't that fake state trooper not look like Charlie Day from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia? And here they come, the heroes. This is a great scene. This really is. I love this movie so fucking much. And this scene kind of reminds me of that scene at the beginning of Rush Hour with Jackie Chan in the gallery. And by the way, you brought up, because Billy Crystal's a tiny guy, he's not a very big guy. But a lot of cops, man, I've met a lot of cops. Not all the cops I've met were big guys. Some of the toughest cops I ever met were little guys.
Well, I don't know if you noticed, but he's using razors in his shoes.
I checked real quick. Billy claims to be 5'7". I don't know about that.
He's got risers in his shoes. Martin just pointed out, and yeah, he does. I don't believe he is. I think he's 5'5".
Even with those risers, he's having a hard time keeping up to shoulder level with Gregory Hines.
Why do you think you couldn't be tough if you're short?
Oh, I've known a lot of short guys.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of people who no longer are alive in Vietnam because of my father. He was like 5'6".
I love that line. Come on, jump. I'll catch you. Better.
You better.
So pleading.
Oh, that's what I would say to you. Better not let me die, or I'll kill you.
Well, I think with Gerry's arm length, you wouldn't have to jump.
I'm tiny. I'm easy to miss.
Yeah, no, but he will just fetch you from the elevator.
Probably.
This conversation is so weird.
This bickering is pointless.
We're not bickering.
By the way, did anybody read this earlier from deleted scenes? He couldn't join us because he had to do some work.
Yes.
Okay.
I saw the message he put in the group chat that he's too busy and not able to join.
Yeah, I remember us covering that.
I get that man with every shot. The bickering between these two.
Like an old married couple.
Hey, it's Laszlo.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Isn't that Laszlo from Real Genius?
Yep, it is. John Grease is his name. I love the guy. He's one of my favorite actors. You shouldn't pop back up as a bad guy if you weren't ready to fucking beat everybody. Nope, he's dead as shit.
Oh yeah, they shot
Because nobody alive would go down an escalator like that. I still am. I'm terrified of escalators. I've never liked them since I was a little kid. They freaked me out, man. Can't they pull you down inside of it?
Yeah, every
those
4 or
things will
5
pull you
years.
down. They'll pull you
They get
down
some-
in there. People get pulled in there.
Oh crap!
I've never heard of that happening, and we have a lot of
They're
them.
ambush predators, Anima. They get a person every 4 or 5 years, but it's real
They do?
bad. Yeah, the escalator is an ambush predator.
The one that freaked me out was when that lady, it collapsed on her and she went down through it into the gears.
Yeah, well, that's how they get people. Yeah,
That is horrible.
No,
And that's the end of the movie, man.
how can
and
that
elevators
happen?
aren't our friend either. Poorly
I-
constructed escalators from or poorly maintained. Like, it takes a lot to make a mechanical staircase move.
Yeah, not a fan of escalators. Never have been. I'd rather
I
take
have
the stairs.
so many emergency doctors in my family, and they have stories, but not one of them ever told a story about an accident happening with an escalator. None of them.
They do happen.
So,
But
maybe
anyway,
Austria
that
is
was a
just
fun
better
movie.
maintaining them.
It's fun
Very
to talk
Saddam
about it. Once
had
again,
Wrong with Americans.
the film was shot entirely in Chicago, except for the scenes on the Keys down in Florida, which was on location in Florida. Running Scared. They have. There's been several films with that title. This is my favorite, named Running Scared. It's a great flick. And of course, The Running Scared is about that period that after they go to Florida, they suddenly have a lust for life. And they're afraid of being killed because they now have a plan to retire and move to Florida and own a bar. And hopefully get robbed every once in a while.
They're aware they're
So they can shoot somebody.
They're aware they're in a movie because they're like, if they know the movie trope. If
Self-aware.
we make any plans for the future or look wistfully into the sunset, we're really screwed. And we already look
Yeah.
wistfully in the sunset and have plans. So now we have to be careful.
Yep.
But he
So-
says so after he gets shot. He's like, man, fucking 16 years in the service and nothing happens. And now I have plans. I get shot.
Yeah, because usually it's Gregory Hines' character that gets shot. Now Billy got shot, and it's like, oh man, things have changed. It's serious now. I love this movie. If you've never seen the film Running Scared, you should watch this movie. It's just an outstanding buddy cop comedy
It's the seeds
with
of
some
Lethal
fair share of
Weapon.
acting in it. It's in the vein of Lethal Weapon.
Some of the same
you know,
people, maybe.
Peter Hyams. I don't think it's. Hold on a second. Let me see what
Who
studio.
produced on like the production level? I think maybe there's some same people. I'm not positive, but it does have just a little bit of the DNA of that in there, especially with the when they're reluctant and afraid. Except in Lethal Weapon, only one guy has that reticence. He's like, I filed my retirement papers. Now I know that I'm under jeopardy for a little while longer. It's a little extra dangerous.
Yeah, no relation to it. Different studio, because that's Warner Brothers.
Somebody watched it. I'll tell you that. Somebody saw this movie and was like, that's a great idea.
And it is. I love Lethal Weapon. It's one of my favorite buddy cop films of all time. Is Lethal Weapon, and I like Lethal Weapon 1, Lethal Weapon 2, Lethal Weapon 3 for the most part. Lethal Weapon 4, I could live without. I didn't think it was very good.
But the idea of
And
two reluctant
He's got Jet
partners
Li in it.
who are two oddball cops stuck together, like, you know, one is a Felix type cop and the other is the Oscar type cop. It works. You're mixing two good genres together, like they're buddies, and then you add in this extra element, like one guy's kind of like got this sort of Damocles because he's ready to retire. In this movie, it's their future plans, but certain similarities. Somebody saw both movies and enjoyed writing one of them.
Yeah. Now this film was put out by MGM. Unlike Lethal Weapon was Warner Brothers. And Running Scared is just it's MGM's version of Lethal Weapon. And it's more straightforward comedy. There's really serious elements to Lethal Weapon, which, you know, again, some of the comedy in that is not because they're being funny, it's because of the reaction of the characters to each other and to events. Whereas Running Scared is pretty much a comedy. And it's
when they
meant to
go
be
action,
funny.
it's fun. When they go to an action scene, it's funny action. It's fun.
Yeah.
And they're whimsical about it, like the Lethal Weapon guys are, except that, yeah, it's not as brutal.
Lethal Weapon goes dark. He goes,
Yeah, these guys don't have that.
God hates me. You know, Murtaugh says, God hates me. Riggs goes, hate him back. It works for me. I mean, that's a dark line.
Or the story of his pen.
The threat to shoot himself scene. He goes, here, you better put it in your mouth. Make sure you don't miss. Yeah. And then he pulls the trigger and he gets his finger in there, stops the hammer from hitting the bullet. And he realizes, oh my God, this guy is seriously crazy. And he's like, let's get some lunch. I'm hungry. After pulling the trigger.
He can't even talk about a pen without scaring us and creeping us out. It's like, oh, that's my pen. Yeah, I tell you what happened with that.
And the ironic thing is he's actually not Australian. He was born and
he's from
raised
Poughkeepsie,
in the US. Yeah.
Yeah, he's from Poughkeepsie, New York.
And then was taken over there by his dad and raised, and that's how he got an Australian accent. And then he had to get rid of it. And it was hard for him because you can hear his accent in the Lethal Weapon films.
Do they dub him in the first cut of Road Warrior that comes over to America with Stallone? When he made Mad Max, the first Mad Max film, okay, when it got released in the US, American International redubbed it with an actor that doesn't even sound close to him. The soundtrack is just really weird. That's why when they finally made the original film available, I got it because it sounds right. It just sounds, the American release of that film sounds so weird. The first one I saw was the re-release with his voice, but later on TV, you would sometimes catch the other one, and that guy's sort of doing like a loose version of Stallone. He's like, yeah, I've got him in my,
it's just
in
weird.
my sights.
It's weird.
Yeah, it's too colloquial American. It's really bad. And Mel can do it. Like, I don't think he re-approached the dialogue and dubbed it again to make it acceptable. No one said go back and re-speak the lines again. I think it's all the dialogue.
Yeah, because that's not him. None of the actors were.
No, I mean, the
re-release was the original audio.
Right. So he does not have they don't make him come back and say your American accent is now better or you sound less unintelligible. You can do it. It was always okay.
Yeah. The first attempt at doing an American accent was in Lethal Weapon.
I'm just
for
purposes of the movie, I think
you can hear his Australian accent come through. There's a scene was it Lethal Weapon 2 where you can really hear it when he goes to the store and he's trying to hit on the South African woman that works.
I think that's 2. She's in 2.
Yeah, that's the second. Lady. I just said that in Lethal Weapon 2. Yeah. You can hear his accent in the grocery store scene. It really is obvious when he says one thing. You can hear his accent in it. The rest of them, he does a pretty fair job getting rid of it. And he eventually did get rid of his accent to where even now his normal talking voice is completely American.
By the time he hit the Patriot, he doesn't have a trace left, maybe a little before.
And then going back to this film, Running Scared, all the characters have New York accents. And they're trying to mask it a little bit, but it's still really obvious they don't have Chicago accents. Chicago's hard on their R's. It's like that there. That there's the way we're going to do it. New York, it would be more like that's how we're going to do it. It's completely different the way New Yorkers say things than from Chicago. But again,
even Married with Children drops the Chicago accent after season one. Sorry.
Yeah, they really do. They really do. Because in real life, he's he actually played. A lot of people forget that. O'Neill played
Ed O'Neill. I know what you're gonna say.
He was in the TV version of Popeye Doyle.
Yep.
And I loved it. It was really good, but people couldn't see him as anything but Al Bundy, and it didn't work.
Yeah, I've been chasing that show for years, and I can't find it again.
I can't find it either.
It wasn't too bad.
One of those rare things. No, it wasn't. I loved it. I thought it was well done.
It was just what happened was they didn't get a farewell season or a farewell show even on Married with Children. So Ed O'Neill just disappears for like an indeterminate amount of time, not a long time, like half a TV season. He hits the ground running because he has, he's in demand, and he takes his pick of roles, and he does a good show, but it was too quick of a turnaround for America. Like they weren't able to get him on like an interview show where he's like, oh yeah, now I get to do some of my serious acting. People just couldn't buy him in this role. And it's too bad because like Popeye Doyle was a funny, sarcastic cop.
Yeah, he was. And he's based on a real cop. Both cops in the film are based. In fact, by the way, hi, Monkey. And I do like what he said here. Clip this. We got a reel of back toward Gerry sounding retarded. Read the Gregory Hines Billy Crystal passed on making Still Running Scared. Is that true? I wouldn't be surprised. The film really should have. It didn't need a sequel. I was pretty happy with it.
I guess
it did not require a sequel.
It did that well though that there was demand for a sequel? I thought it was kind of just like one-off. I didn't know it did that well.
Hold on a second.
Mostly because all movies were a little bit better back then. Call me crazy.
Because we got to wrap up here, but I do want to check this. Box office. All right, there we go. 38 million. And now budget. 15 million. Between 15 and 17. Oh, wait, that's the wrong one. $1986. Like, where's the fucking budget? Are you fucking kidding me? Yeah, it doesn't show the budget for the film.
While you're looking, I looked at the top 10 movies of that year, and it's not showing up in the title. So, I mean, it probably didn't do bad. It seems to have made a good deal of money, but it's not showing up in top grossing movies. Let me check, find the search a little bit more.
I'm going to go to Wikipedia, see if they show the budget. The box office was 38.5 million. And I can't believe the movie would have cost that much to make. I would put it right around 12 to 15.
It's not the top 10, but the competition. Wow. Top Gun, Crocodile Dundee, there's Star Trek 4, Ruthless People with Danny DeVito, Out of Africa, Ferris Bueller, Down and Out in Beverly Hills. A lot of movies.
Oh, I love that movie.
Cobra, Jewel of the Nile, Police Academy 3, Golden Child, Short Circuit, The Fly.
Love Golden Child
Rocky
too.
4,
that was a great film. Noopsie.
Rocky 4, The Money Pit, An American Tale, Nothing in Common, Heartbreak Ridge. I'm down to the 35th highest grossing movie. I still don't see Running Scared. Wildcats with Goldie Hawn.
Here's another film, buddy film, that came out that same year. It was FX with Brian Brown and Brian Dennehy.
Iron Eagle, Children of a Lesser God, Back to the Future was the number 47 grossing movie. Wow, people just made a lot of money that year. That was a big year for movies, period. The re-release of Lady and the Tramp seems to have done better. That can't be true. Let me look again.
Yeah, here's something I'll read to you real quick before we end. In 2010, Peter Hyams, the director, recalled that he had wanted to remain earthbound and desired a comedy that was not stupid, where the action was not mean-spirited or bloody or graphic. MGM's script about retiring New York cops turned into a tale of non-retiring young Chicago cops, offering fresh casting possibilities in a unique city backdrop. He noted that amidst the numerous cop movies, he chose to opt for more unconventional actors and chose Billy Crystal and Gregory Hines, who proved to have great chemistry together. Hines persistently campaigned for his role, proud that the film featured a black guy with sex scenes, deviating from the norm of the black character being devoid of sexuality as opposed to his white counterpart. He recalled that Himes was tough to work with, but that he didn't want to put the guy down. Crystal, valued for his improvisational skills, contributed a lot of little pearls to the script, supported by Himes' chemistry. He noted that his risky improvisations were only possible due to the fact that Himes had such good, solid presence with him. The filming spanned September 85 through January 86 across the MGM studios in Culver City, California, as well as in Key West and Chicago. So there you go. I think the exterior of his apartment when they drove out the window with the motorcycle was the MGM studio in Culver City. I'm pretty positive that was, because that's the New York set on MGM.
I threw this into the chat, but it was the number 26 grossing movie that year. So it didn't do as bad as I thought. It was just there's a lot of movies.
I'm telling you, it made its money back. I don't think their budget was over 15.
Number 5 was Aliens, so that's probably why the guy was talking about gory movies. And number 1 is Top Gun. Crocodile Dundee's number 2.
Good film. It's a knife.
Karate Kid Part 2 is number 3. Back to School, number 4.
I want to thank everybody for being here today. We got Deleted Scenes, Dragon Ruse, The Comic Relief Crusader, Lord Thoth. Let's see, get through some of the conversation. Cavatino Cavermanche, Penny, of course, your Muslim uncle, our Muslim uncle, E. Clay Thomason, Dadman Walking, Keely Chow, Ruben Christopher Haynes, Peter Venkman Fansite, aka Venkman's Girl, and of course our good friend Monkey Jeebus. Thanks for watching us today. It's a great film. If you've not seen it, go get a copy of it. Go on a website and watch it. Amazon, Netflix, whoever has it right now. I'm assuming Amazon has it because they own MGM, and it's an MGM film.
I believe it's on Tubi and Pluto when I looked, so you could probably
Aliens
see it
in a safe space. No one can hear you slur. I want to thank Kyle for being here. Thanks a lot, Zach. Good seeing you, buddy. Everybody have a great Saturday. And Martin, Teague, you guys want to add anything before we end the show?
Yeah, I guess I'm going to show Ghostbusters Afterlife on my channel and host a watch party for that. I'll drop the link in the chat. Anyone wants to come by. I'm going to do it at about 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. Yeah. The new movie seems to be gaining steam and gaining people's appeal. I've owned this for a while. It's time to finally watch it.
Excellent. Excellent. John, anything you want to point in?
Just next week, next Wednesday, I'm going back to Uncharted. So I'll be bouncing between that and Power World. So
outstanding. I'm going to try RoboCop this week and see if I can do that this week too. But Martin, anything you want to add before we go?
Yes, this Tuesday in the Morning Coffee with the Chief, we're doing The Warriors.
Oh, another good film. Another good film. Anima, I got anything to add before we go?
Just hoping everyone has a great weekend and see you on Military Monday. Edge of Tomorrow.
What are we doing Monday? Edge of Tomorrow.
Edge of Tomorrow.
Oh,
I'm looking forward to this. You're turning me into a fan of cruise
So,
movies.
Yes, you
After
are.
tomorrow-
You're liking it.
We're doing Edge of Tomorrow after tomorrow. Nice.
Yes,
Yes.
exactly.
Leave it to somebody from another country to fucking use that. Oh my God. That's almost as bad as your dad jokes.
He's allowed to make bad jokes.
How dare you? My dad jokes are a work of art.
Okay, Ricardo.
Okay, before Mommy and Daddy start fighting again, let's get out of here.
And with that,